2001 Senior Bowl. ESPN privileged to be back where we belong at this great game, the best of the All-Star games, 52nd playing of the Senior Bowl. The North is in the white, the South is in the red. Jamie Ream, the kicker from Kansas State, will kick it off for the North squad. Mike Tirico, Ron Jaworski, Mel Kiper, Merrill Hodge, Adrian Karsten. Glad to be with you for the final day of the college football season of 2000. Kick goes out of bounds, so possession will start at the 35 for the South. The reason this is the premier All-Star game is because of the involvement of the NFL. NFL coaching staffs with each team. The South in the red will be coached by the Green Bay Packers staff. The North in the white coached by Bill Cowher and the Pittsburgh Steelers staff. Jesse Palmer, the quarterback from the Florida Gators, will lead the South squad out. He will get the start. He's been impressive thus far in this week of practice, which is so important for the Senior Bowl. Players behind him: LaDainian Tomlinson from TCU, best running back in the country this year. Dustin McClintock, the Alabama fullback. Brian Natkins had a good week at tight end. And one of the big jumpers this week, Reggie Wayne of Miami, has made a huge impression, and we'll talk about the importance of the week and the players as we go on. First play, Palmer to the air. Actually to the ground. He's sacked by Cedric Hodge, a linebacker from North Carolina who's from Atlanta, Georgia. Let's check out the South starting offensive line. Big old pork chop Womack from Mississippi State leads this huge group. Paul Hogan, the center from Alabama. Sharon Dorsey's impressed, the tackle from Florida State. Going up against the North defensive line, which lines up this way with Fred Wakefield, the playmaker from Illinois, Miss Davis from USC, Chris Jenkins, it'll be interesting to watch today, from Maryland, and Kyle Vandenbosch, awarded for his outstanding academic and athletic performances as a Cornhusker. After a loss of 6 on the sack, Palmer to the air on second down. Incomplete. The pass was intended for Cedric Wilson, the Tennessee Volunteer. Let's look at the back 7 linebackers in secondary. A couple of North Carolina Tar Heels. Hodge, who had the sack. Torrance Marshall, MVP of the FedEx Orange Bowl for the national champion Sooners. And Brandon Spoon. And in the secondary for the North, a couple of good corners in Andre Dyson, a riser in NFL scouts' eyes, and Will Allen from Syracuse. Adam Archuleta is a player who was a linebacker at Arizona State, playing strong safety in the pros. There is Mike Sherman, coach of the Green Bay Packers. It's hard to get used to, but the Packers are the South team in this game. Very confusing. 3rd and 16 for Palmer. And the Florida quarterback will throw underneath. Pass is caught by Cedric Wilson, but he's not going too far. It's Vandenbosch coming from his line spot to make the tackle. So 3 and out for Jesse Palmer.
And Mike, you know, watching this game and talking to the coaches, you could see the tempo being set already. Mike Sherman wanted to come out with the passing game. The South comes out 3 successive passing games. They weren't very impressive with them, but the tempo was set. They want to throw the football. Bill Cowher, the coach of the Steelers, well, we know what they believe in. Smash mouth running game. You'll see the North team come out and try to power run the football and establish the line of scrimmage.
David Leverton, a very good punter from Tennessee. He's also had a good week of practice. Will be kicking for the South. David Allen from Kansas State is set to return. Sellout crowd here in Mobile, but it's a little cool. That's kept some of the folks home. From the 37, Allen, man who has an NCAA record for touchdown returns, is a punt returner, fumbled the ball, and it's a recovery for the South. So Palmer will get right back on the field. Allen, trying to make something happen, coughed it up.
Many of these players, Mike, playing special teams, are not accustomed to playing special teams. They have been starters at their particular universities and colleges, and now they're put on the field to return kicks, although he certainly does return kicks. But the guys covering them, a lot of them are not used to covering, but clearly right now for the South team, they got after it.
Dustin McClintock caused the fumble, man.
Exactly. Fullback McClintock caused the fumble. Recovered by Kendrell Bell, middle linebacker from Georgia, former JUCO transfer. Had a real good week down here in Mobile, Mike.
Palmer is one of the players wearing a microphone. We'll hear him call plays. LaDainian Tomlinson slid on the turf. It has rained a lot here. TCU back in the top 10 all-time in NCAA Division I rushing. Takes it down to the 25. Back-to-back years leading the country in rushing. Mel, how has Tomlinson's week been?
Had an outstanding day Tuesday, Mike. He showed a burst. He showed tremendous vision. I thought he caught the ball pretty well, and that was the question about Tomlinson, his pass receiving skills. Then he had his hamstring wrapped the next day, and fortunately, he's back ready to go today because I thought he really seized the opportunity early in the week and really impressed the NFL brass down here in Mobile.
Well, on that run there, Mike, he got the big block on the outside by Pork Chuck Womack and got to the corner for the big play.
Pork Chuck coming in over 350 pounds as he was weighed this week. Now Tomlinson runs right and has another first down across the 15 into the 14-yard line.
That's that burst, Mike, that we've seen all week. I think when you look at the hamstring, looks like it's not bothering Tomlinson today. And you look at the package of skills that he brings to the table. LaDainian Tomlinson, a heck of a career. People say, well, it wasn't against great defenses, but you watch him here, the vision, the ability to make the key cut at the right time and then turn on the jets. He says he's never been tackled from behind in his career, and I think he was out to prove to a lot of people, hey, it just wasn't the defenses I played against. I have the ability to be an outstanding back in the NFL.
The highest ranked defense he faced in college football was 47th up until the bowl game on this field against Southern Miss. Tomlinson here runs for a yard. North tackle made by Chris Jenkins, the University of Maryland senior from Ypsilanti, Michigan. There are LT's career, or season stats, I should say, the best year of his outstanding career. 5 times over 200 yards and really ran well in red zone situations as well. A hard runner from the 20 in.
He's 220 pounds, Mike. And I think that's something that surprises defenders is that ability to break tackles. Very strong and very determined.
And running behind your pads, Mike, always very important. You run straight up, you're going to get the ball knocked out, and you're going to get knocked out. You deliver a blow, go forward on contact, positive yards.
After no gain, they'll try Tomlinson again. Ran away from one tackle, but Kyle Vanden Bosch ended up getting him behind the line for a loss of a couple. Vanden Bosch, one of the Nebraska Cornhuskers here. Florida State, the most represented school with 8 players who came here for the week. Marvin Minnis is not here, so they are down to 7. Minnis was bothered by the flu midweek. And even though Bobby Bowden's coaching in the Hula Bowl that you'll see later tonight on ESPN, his Seminoles still well represented, including Sharon Dorsey, the offensive tackle.
A good matchup here. Mike Reggie Wayne, who had a great week, skilled route runner against Will Allen, cornerback from Syracuse, playing the right cornerback spot today. Andre Dyson from Utah against Cedric Wilson from Tennessee.
Wayne at the top of the screen. Pass is caught. To the 1. Out of bounds, they say, for Cedric Wilson. It'll be first and goal for the South after a gain of 16. Wilson wanted to score. He was the receiver up top.
With the corners off, Wilson does a real nice job of pushing. You'll see right there, that's what you got to do. Push and break back to the sideline. And I love the anticipation of Jesse Palmer. The ball was out of his hands before the receiver made his break. When the receiver turns around, the ball was in the air. If the route is executed properly with the timing and rhythm that is necessary, the receiver will never see the ball leave the quarterback's hand. It'll be in the air, coming his way. Well done right there by the South and Jesse Palmer.
And Charles, you look at Cedric Wilson, 5'9 1/4", 180 pounds, and he's going to have to be that 3rd wide receiver option or 4th because of his return skills, provides the necessary versatility.
Couple of tight ends in the game. Tomlinson tries to power on the outside and gets in. Nice second effort by LaDainian Tomlinson.
They're excited.
LT knows what it's like to find the end zone, and other players with a hamstring injury might have gone on home earlier in the week and not risk further injury. Tomlinson stays and gets the touchdown. Mississippi State kicker Scott Westerfield on to try the extra point for the South. And it's good, so taking advantage of the fumble, the South gets on the board first with LT. Only appropriate, the first touchdown in the history of the Bush administration is a run to the right. LT in the end zone, and the South is up 7.
Are you an athlete if you only play for bragging rights? What if your team is now your family? Are you an athlete if your toughest competition is yourself? Or if you inherit your uniform? What if you don't play sports at all anymore? Are you an athlete? Always. Russell Athletic for the long run.
Problem, officer? South leading the North 7-0 at the 52nd Senior Bowl. A great crowd on an unseasonably cool afternoon in Mobile. They support this game very well. Hospitality of the Alabama fans and faithful. Well respected by the players in this game. Bobby Newcomb along with Will Allen from Nebraska and Syracuse respectively. Back for the kick. Allen from the 15. And a nice opening for Will Allen, who takes the kickoff out to the 39-yard line. Let's check out the North and how they'll line up. The Iowa State quarterback, Sage Rosenfels, who led the Cyclones to the first bowl win in program history, will lead the offense for the North. Kevin Barlow's impressed this week out of Pitt, joined by another Keystone State back and Mike Ceramelli. Algie Crumpler, the North Carolina tight end. Watch Newcomb at wide receiver. It's a litmus test week for him, and Chad Johnson has been perhaps the best player this week in Senior Bowl practices. Rosenfels throwing. It's caught by Jabari Holloway, the Notre Dame tight end, across midfield into the 46. So Holloway, who caught just 6 balls all year, is the man who takes the opportunity of a 2 tight end set to start. Michigan, Minnesota, Notre Dame, Michigan. Midwest field to that line. Backus, Hutchinson, Williams, terrific offensive linemen who wore the maize and blue. They'll go up against a South defensive line that's pretty stout as well. Marcus Stroud, a lot of pub during his college days. See how he does at the next level. Kenny Smith from Alabama, Ellis Wims from Mississippi State. On first down, Barlow runs to the left. And a nice run to about the 41-yard line. Randy Garner over there to help make the tackle. Tommy Pauly scheduled to get the start from the Florida State backer, along with Alex Lincoln and Eric Westmoreland. Westmoreland from Tennessee. Very good linebacker, 6'1" and 234. Mel Tommy Pauly, the Florida State linebacker, will be a player who we'll watch with great interest. Why?
We will. Coming back from that knee injury, and put together a solid season. Not a great one, Mike. He only weighed in at 218, and I think that's what you will look at. Get that strength back up, get the weight back up, get ready for individual workouts.
On 2nd and 5, here is Barlow on the delay. And out to the left side behind the Hutchinson block. And he'll pick up a first down. Let's go to the sidelines and visit with Adrian Karsten.
2,158 yards during the regular season and a whole bunch to start this Senior Bowl. I saw no hamstring problem that second, third effort on the goal line, LaDainian.
No, you know, I just want my feet moving. I really wanted to get in the end zone. I had a mean, nasty attitude and they didn't wrap up very well, so I just punched it in.
Well, it shows. We talked Heisman Trophy voting. You told me you really were looking forward to this game because of the speed advantage you guys might have. Will we see you in the background today or backfield rather with Travis Minor?
Probably so. We could. We'll definitely see.
Okay, Mike. He's got the ball. He's got to come back out on the field here, Adrian, on the fumble. It is a recovery for Tony Dixon, the defensive back from Alabama. Do you expect things like this in an all-star game?
Well, Barlow must secure the football. It all starts there, Mike. If you don't wrap it up in this type of competition, these are outstanding football players going to strip the football, but you must protect the football. More games are lost than are won.
Like Tommy Pauly got a hand in, strip the football, Jaws, and that's what you want to see with Pauly. Only 218, but a guy that feels like, and I said to Tommy, how's your knee? He said, what knee injury? So he wants to put that behind him.
First down as the South and the Red gets the ball back. Balmer's throw to Reggie Wayne, and that's some of the stuff Reggie Wayne showed during the practices this week. 14-yard pickup and a first down. We talk about practices all week. Mel, we should highlight again why this game continues to draw terrific numbers of senior players for their college finale. 700-plus NFL head coaches, GMs, personnel guys, or scouts and assistant coaches were here this week.
No question, they lined the field like the practice field. We went in the stands. You get a good vantage point up there, and Reggie Wayne was outstanding. Snatches the ball with his hands, a skilled route He's right now matched up against Michael Stone from Memphis, and what a week Reggie Wayne had.
On the run to the left, Tomlinson goes over Michael Stone to the 35. He picked up about 6 yards on the play. What about Reggie Wayne and his abilities that he showed this week, Mel?
I'll tell you, he's moved up. Like, I think from maybe a late first rounder into the middle of the first round. You look at Reggie Wayne, I think the question is, how good a deep route runner will he be? How much of a threat will he be getting deep vertical game? But as an intermediate threat, great hand, tough kid, very precise. You see the burst here. This is against Virginia Tech, where he does beat the corner on the deep route. You're looking for wide receivers in the late first round to separate, and I think he has right now. After David Terrell and Corin Robinson and Chad Johnson, then you have a situation where Wayne and Gardner and Moss from Miami, Gardner from Clemson, are battling for that, I think, fourth spot. And if that's the case, and he does become the fourth highest rated wide receiver, Reggie Wayne could be a mid-first rounder.
You know, Mel, watching Reggie Wayne out at the practice field and already early in this football game, the one thing that stands out is ability to catch the football with his hands. Too many receivers let the ball get to their body. Defenders can knock it loose. You catch it with your hands, tuck it away, and then move. And Wayne certainly has shown that this week, and that has impressed the scouts.
And he's so polished. He can come right in as a rookie and help you.
The delay because of the injury to Mike Keithley from TCU, the all-WAC performer. You hate to see injuries anytime, especially in an all-star game. And Keithley was shaken up, a guy who started 23 straight on the offensive line and was part of a TCU team. TCU team that was 1-10, and he got to 10-1. It was Keithley coming off the field, hobbled. We had a lot of players this week with the flu, hamstring injuries, especially on this South team. A lot of players who came down with the flu, and Mike Sherman, the Packers coach.
Go green right, pass 312, double quick hit.
Now we're talking, Mike. It's a pass play, and we know that points come out of the passing game. We get that in early.
Take long, Charles. Took you 20 minutes. I'm worried about you. After the run by Tomlinson, it's 2nd and 4. The pass is caught by Cedric Wilson. A first down to the 30-yard line.
Mike, this game is a quarterback's dream. There are limited coverages, limited blitzes. You're normally going to get the corners off. Drop back, plant and throw, deliver on time. You should be consistent moving the football.
And Charles, didn't Palmer surprise you this week?
Absolutely.
I mean, you talk about spinning it, tight spirals and accuracy. I thought Jesse Palmer looked like a guy that, when we look back on his college career, he should have put up more impressive numbers. But when you play for Steve Spurrier, you're going to be scrutinized, and you don't know of every play, every series, what's going to happen. And Danny Warfel handled it very well. Palmer, this particular season, 52% completion percentage, 11 touchdowns, only 4 INTs.
He throws a very catchable pass.
On the reverse, here comes Wilson again. It's past a Will Allen tackle and leans forward to the 23. Adrian Karsten.
Mike Keithley, number 52, the big offensive lineman, behind whom LaDainian Tomlinson loves to run because that's his teammate, has at least, Mike, from what I'm told by the Packer trainers, a strained left knee. Now, he's got a protective old type of Lennox Hill brace on that left knee. They're checking him right now, see how much weight he can put on there, but probably no ligament damage, at least at this point.
We hope so. Those Lennox Hill braces, those are the ones with the metal on both sides that you've seen so often. Keithley, as I mentioned, one of the leaders on that TCU team, were 1-10 3 years ago. Around for his senior season when they went 10-1. Dennis Franchione taking them to a bowl game played right here, the GMAC Mobile, Alabama Bowl, before Franchione moved on to Alabama, coach of the Crimson Tide. Tomlinson spins for a couple of yards. His second down run is going to move the chains, a first down for the South.
Mike, you see a nice job by Tomlinson of pressing the hole, making the defense move, then creates that seam and finds a cutback, very positive yards. And the key for a running back is to be patient. Let the play develop. Too many guys want to get the football and hit the point of attack too quick. Let it develop, read it like LT did right there. Positive game.
All right, let's go solo.
We'll take a look at it right here. He'll try to hit the hole right there, but then break it back. That's what you want to do. You see the seam, boom, hit that seam, head right up the field. Pad level down, takes a little shot, but always moving forward.
First and 10 for the South. Tomlinson tried to run behind the block of Paul Hogan, the Alabama offensive lineman. Tony Driver took him down at the 12. Some pushing and shoving between the players in the North and the South. It's Keenan Forney, University of Hawaii. Where's the no worries? The relax from the University of Hawaii player.
This is football, Michael. What are you talking? This isn't a tennis match out here. There's no, they want to impress some of these pro scouts out here. A little nasty edge. especially if you're on Cowher's team.
And, Jaws, you're right. When you talk about Tomlinson, and we talked about him a lot already today, right now Deuce McAllister still the #1 overall running back in the draft. Michael Bennett, the junior from Wisconsin, and Tomlinson kind of battling for that second running back spot in the draft right now with Kevin Barlow in the mix, and Anthony Thomas, the A-train, also a factor maybe in the late first round.
Palmer on the toss to Tomlinson. Ladanian broke a tackle and got down to the 6. Well, he's showing good running ability here. Cedric Hodge made the tackle. Mel mentioned Anthony Thomas of Michigan. Hamstring injury. Second day of practice here. He left as he was not going to play in the game because of the hamstring injury. Here is the Mel Kiper running back list.
We see McAllister, Mike, who had, I thought, a great career. This season, shoulder and ankle injuries hampered him. He's not here. He's got to get ready, get back to full strength. Bennett is a home run hitter, and I think he took over for Ron Dane, and they didn't miss a beat. We see Tomlinson today, Barlow today, but Anthony Thomas, Stephen Davis type runner, and Buchalter was the best player, I thought, at the East-West Shrine game. Played in the shadow of Dan Alexander, but watch out for Correll Buchalter at the next level.
Alexander is here. We'll see him with the North squad. Tomlinson looking for another touchdown run. South is on his case. Brandon Spoon leading the charge on the tackle. Tomlinson already 10 carries in this game for 44 yards.
He might be moving up Mel's list there, Michael.
I'll tell you, he really had an attitude coming into the week of practice to prove that he could catch the football. And I think that versatility that he showed on Tuesday, had a great week. I mean, his vision and that burst was on display. And I think then the injury occurred, and now all of a sudden here it is game day, and he's doing the job. And you see Cedric Wilson and Reggie Wayne, the two wideouts again here in the red zone, Jaws.
Wilson up top. Palmer on a little boot. Might run it. Will run it. Jesse Palmer. Touchdown to the South.
By design, get your quarterback on the perimeter with the option to run or throw. Mike Sherman, style of offense. Tom Rossley making the calls. And speaking to him yesterday and this morning, they wanted to get their quarterbacks out on the edge to make some decisions, throw the football or run. Here you see the fake to the inside. Now you've got the option. Throw the ball in the flat right there. Or, hey, like any good quarterback does, take it into the end zone on the run.
He caps off a nicely engineered 9-play, 56-yard drive. Limited rushing on the kicking situation, so the extra point added. For Westerfield, Jesse Palmer had to battle the likes of Doug Johnson early on in his career. Rex Grossman at the end battled him for playing time, but as a senior has the opportunity here this week to show what he has. Pretty impressive here in the first. Joe Namath, one of the Hall of Famers in the Senior Bowl. So is our colleague, Mr. Jaworski, inducted last night with William Andrews, the old Auburn running back from the Atlanta Falcons, and the great legendary coach, Eddie Robinson. Ron, congratulations.
Oh, thank you, Michael. It really was an honor and very humbling last night to be in the coach's presence. Eddie Robinson, of course, William Andrews, a tremendous guy that I competed with for a number of years. And great to be back down here in Mobile. Wonderful people. The hospitality is terrific.
Congratulations, Jaws. And Mike, Jim Dressel, Youngstown
Oh,
State.
yeah.
Right.
Moves on to Ohio State, Jaws. You got to be happy.
Penguin Power, hey, Jim will do a terrific job. And yeah, one thing, you know, he puts out a good football program. The other thing he does, his guys will graduate.
Here are the Hall of Famers. You saw Coach Robinson, William Andrews, and Jaws.
There you go. Just another completion. That's all. A little touchdown coming up. Way to go, Scott.
Well, wait, look away. Wow.
Well, shave that beard, though.
Ooh, I think so. You cleaned up well here.
Hey, when you played for Dick Vermeil, you didn't have time to shave.
Throw coach back in it now. It's the Chiefs of Kansas City. Their staff was here last year coaching in this game. Bill Coward, an old Chiefs assistant, coaching the North in the white. Sage Rosenfeld throws. Pass is caught by Alex Bannister, one of the small school, quote-unquote, players. He's from Eastern Kentucky. Mel, what about Bannister earned him getting here to the Senior Bowl?
Well, I'll tell you what, the blue-gray game, he struggled. Couldn't get off press coverage. And I think the people thought that, hey, the NFL said, hey, in this practice session in Mobile, that he was the most improved player from the blue-gray to now. And certainly worked on his game. I think became more acclimated to what to expect, the jump up to the Ohio Valley, to major college football here. And I think he made the most of this week. Alex Bannister could be a second or third round pick.
Had a little Ed McCaffrey look to him there.
Run by Barlow, gets into the 40-yard line. Back to Bannister for a second. It's a situation, Mel, where some of the players who make the jump from 1AA to these all-star games have a little bit of stage fright. All of a sudden, after being the dominant athlete on the field almost at all times, they're in a situation where well, they're not just not dominant anymore. They may be inferior to the other guys in their position. They have to get over that mental hurt.
They do. And the corners that they're seeing in practice are top-level corners. A lot of these guys have first-round type ability that you're saying, but he did make the most of that couple of weeks to get ready for this game.
Rosenfels, the Iowa State quarterback, looking at Bannister. And the pass is incomplete. Nearly picked off by Fred Smoot from Mississippi State. Adrian Karsten's down on the sideline.
Mike, as Josh can attest, when you roll out beautifully like Jesse Palmer did down on the goal line, you read, then you react. What were you reading there, Jess?
Well, I was trying to, get outside the tackle box, really try to work right. We had LT in the flat. We had a receiver coming up over top, so I was trying to get him. I think the linebacker was holding him a little bit, so I just decided to tuck and run.
Holding him a little bit. Okay. That's about what I saw as well. Congratulations on the touchdown.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mike?
All right, Adrian. Jesse Palmer's a wonderful young man as well. I enjoyed spending time with him this week to meet a lot of these players, and they get to know each other a little bit. They enjoy that part of the process as well. The flag down. Sly Johnson says, hey, Fred Smoot, didn't you hear the whistle? And Fred Smoot, the Mississippi State player who talks a lot and can back it up as well. Draws the ire of the crowd. SEC officials here for our game.
Mike had a chance to talk to Jesse Palmer's dad this morning.
Now, contact was made by the defense. 5-yard penalty, second down.
The last couple of plays here, Fred Smoot was involved. You talked about Jesse?
Yeah, I talked to his dad this morning, and he was telling me he played pro football with Joe Pisarcik up in Canada. So certainly the lineage is real good for Jesse and his dad going through. And my old buddy Joe Pisarcik, old teammate, I know he's real excited. Herman Edwards, one of our teammates also up in Philadelphia, now the head coach of the New York Jets.
That's right.
Congratulations, Herman.
Jesse Palmer from Ontario, Canada. 2nd and 5 after the flag. This time, Rosenfeld's chained to the cadence, didn't throw off the defense. Pass is incomplete. We've seen a couple of plays, Mel, with Fred Smoot, the conversational wide receiver cover man from Mississippi State.
This is against Alex Bannister, double move there, and you see Smoot, only 168 pounds, Charles, and you see a corner who does talk a lot, played in that 3-deep zone, in press coverage, and here you go, this is against Sly Johnson, where he'll come up and he'll hit you, so plays a little bigger, but 168. He still is a factor in run support.
Well, you can see the athleticism on a double move. He's able to get out of his break, a good transition with his hips, and covered the deep ball. Good job.
He is a funny guy to be around and never quiet. Rosenfels throws, and the pass is caught. Out to the 46, it was Margin Hooks, the BYU receiver, and Tommy Pauly getting into it with Jabari Holloway. Where's all the love and enjoyment that was built up during the week here?
These guys been hanging out at the same hotel in the lobby, talking to everybody. You never would know that, by the way. They're going at each other on this field right now.
Well, that's not a bad thing to show some of the NFL people who are watching. A little bit of attitude in the game.
Yeah, watch Mr. Pauly right here. Okay. Oh, hello. There's your wake-up call.
Florida State and Notre Dame have had their battles over the years. This group of players didn't go head-to-head all that often, but visit here. First down, Barlow. To the 39, the coaching staff for the South wanted a holding penalty called on Jeff Backus of Michigan. It was not. Well, we are here in Mobile, and our friends, Dr. Jerry Punch, Kirk Herbstreit, Chris Fowler, they're over in Maui for the 2001 Rivals.com Hula Bowl. Bobby Bowden is the coach on one side there. You see Jonathan Beasley. Drew Brees, Purdue, is going to be the quarterback for the Northern team. Rivals.com Hula Bowl tonight, 8 Eastern on ESPN. Your home for college football on the internet. Saw Kirk and Chris as we cross paths in Maui. These guys are working very hard this week. Been to every practice. Here's Barlow on the run across the 35. First down to the 34.
Mike Barlow's been impressive this week. I know Mel and I had a chance to talk about him to some of the scouts and coaches around here. They like the way he runs. They like his pad level. I mean, he gets after it.
He's running behind a heck of an offensive line, Charles.
That always helps.
There's 3 Michigan linemen, all have a chance to be first-round draft choices. Hutchinson, a left guard, could be a right tackle. Bo Williams, a right tackle. We only played 4 solid years there. Was a former defensive lineman. Jeff Backus, a left tackle. Shorter arms than you would prefer. Not great feet, but all he does is keep defensive ends at bay. He had an excellent week.
Rosenfeld's pass to Bannister. Larry Kasher, the corner from Auburn, brought him down. Bannister and Sly Johnson, a couple of not as well-known nationally college players, getting an opportunity here for the north side. What about that O-line?
Man, look at all them helmets up there from the Michigan guys, protecting the quarterback on a 3-step drop, plant and throw 1.5 seconds, completion to the outside. Such an easy game, Michael.
These Michigan players are well equipped for the next level, because they've seen run offense and pass offense, very diversified offense, behind a guy who may be the #1 overall pick in next year, Drew Henson, the quarterback from Michigan.
Could very well be, Mike. And David Terrell came out early, the wide receiver, kind of battling Corin Robinson to see who will be the first wide receiver taken. David Terrell figures early in the first round. Those 3 offensive linemen we talked about could be the ones. And Drew Henson, with Michael Vick coming out early, Drew Henson could be the #1 pick in 2002.
End of the quarter here in Mobile, the 52nd playing of the Senior Bowl. The South taking advantage of a couple of turnovers with a 14-0 lead on the North. LaDainian Tomlinson had a good show as the workhorse running back, and Jesse Palmer led a couple of touchdown drives for the South. The second quarter coming up after this. Second quarter getting ready to start at the 2001 Senior Bowl. Let's check in with Merrill Hodge, who's with his old coach, Bill Cowher. Merrill?
Thanks, Mike. I've been here the whole time. We've just had some technical difficulties, and
I like that.
And you got to like this. Coach, not the way you wanted things to start out.
I didn't like that start. I was wanting to challenge that first punt ruling. This is our SEC officials we had out there, but we got the college rules. But if we can punch one in here, I think we'll be back in the game.
I noticed you started to throw the ball a little more versus running it.
Well, yeah, we're going to have to, but we still have a lot of time left, and, you know, we still have to be able to keep them honest. You know, Kevin had a couple good runs here, so we're going to punch this in. We'll be back in it.
All right, thanks, Coach. Mike?
Nice jacket, Merrill.
He's got his Steeler jersey on there. He got the terrible towel hanging out of his pocket. The babushka's ready to come out. Hodgie's ready on that sideline.
Second down for Sage Rosenfels, the Iowa State quarterback. And the whistles blow as that play will come back. A little jump there up front from Marcus Stroud on the South defense. Familiar face to you college football fans, Bill Goss, referee, one of the best in the Southeastern Conference.
Hit ball, offsides contact made by the defense. The penalty is 5 yards. First down.
Had a nice conversation with Bill yesterday morning about the pace of college football games, and the same applies to the college basketball games like the one you watched before us. We all love the competition, but the games are becoming interminable in both sports. And there's got to be a way in both sports to tighten up the pace of the game. We're getting to 2:15 for a college hoop game, 3:45 to watch a college football game. Rosenfeld's first down. Looking for the end zone. Nothing there. Alex Bannister was well covered. And Larry Kasher from Auburn watching him.
Mike, that's twice. The North has tried the stutter moves, hitch and go, curl and go, out and go. You'll see it right here. He'll push up, stop, and then boom, take off again. Excellent coverage.
Rosenfeld's now 4 of 7 throwing the ball. Mel, what do you see in Sage Rosenfeld? This is a day that he has to perform well.
He does. He had a nice year. Dan McCarney, he went on to a bowl game and beat Pittsburgh, and the Cyclones have kind of a breakout year for them. And so Rosenfeld was responsible for that success. Didn't really wow anybody over this week, so he does need a big game today.
Loss of a yard for Kevin Barlow. Defensive surge from Kenny Smith, the Alabama player. It's bizarre to see the Alabama and the Auburn helmet in the same huddle, especially when you come here to Mobile. Those two schools represented better than any schools in the history of the Senior Bowl. That's been played in Mobile all the time. But, you know, if you're here 365 days a year, all you think about is Auburn or Alabama, and not even for one day, but for 3.5 hours, Auburn and Alabama rooting for the same common interest. 3rd and 11 for the North. Rosenfeld, so he had taken down a hard hit at the 21. Quentin Caber led the charge. He's an Alabama native from Anniston, Alabama. Played for the Arkansas Razorbacks. Boy, they had a good defense and a good close to their 2000 season.
Nick Caber's a rangy linebacker. Didn't have a great week, but a great season. 22 tackles against Tennessee. It set an all-time Razorback record. Eric Westmoreland's in this game, Tennessee, and under 6 feet, but he weighed in at 234, and as a weak side linebacker, I think he has a great opportunity.
Very good kicker, Jamie Ream. try a 39-yarder. Very good at the college level. Dependable, and a stronger leg of the two kickers here, Ream and Westerfield.
Into a stiff breeze, high snap.
Well, the kick was almost blocked, but it's good. From 39 yards out. Anytime you see a rush like that in the kicking game, in one of these all-star games, you say, wait a minute. I remember watching our buddy Lee Corso when he was coaching against Mike Gottfried in a game out in Hawaii. You say, wait a minute, isn't that against the rules? Kentrell Bell just busting through. Kind of gave him a free pass on the kick, too. Ream connects. 11-point game. South leading the North by 11. After a couple of days of rain, sunny skies greeted by the fans here in Mobile. Kickoffs have been very short thus far here today. Travis Minor showing that he can return some kickoffs. He takes it out just shy of the 30-yard line. New quarterback now for the South, and it's guys familiar to the fans down here in Alabama. Auburn quarterback Ben Laird, senior, who completed 60% of his passes this year and for his career. More interceptions than touchdowns in 2000, and Ben Laird would fall under the same category as Sage Rosenfels. Has to perform well here this afternoon.
Well, the big question with Ben Laird is arm strength. Like, can he go from being an effective quarterback at Auburn into the NFL? And that's something he's going to have to answer today. During the week, he did struggle some throwing the football.
Pass there is incomplete, intended for Boo Williams. Adrian Karsten, what can you add to the telecast at this point?
Spoke face-to-face with Ben Laird just before he went into the game and just reminded me this is my great opportunity. Well, I've heard this a lot of times. LSU game, before the Florida game, a number of other games. He just sees this game a lot like the rest of his career, Mike. You know, very much an opportunist. And he said, well, you know, Chris Winkie is not here today. So now John Palmer's done his thing. Time for me to do mine.
Adrian, you've been around Ben Laird a bunch, so have I. I've had a few games of his. What a likable kid, isn't he?
Really is. And he's got, you know, the notes we've talked about, support from his mother and father, going through Tiger Walk, tears in his eyes. He really represents and is good for college football, Mike.
That's right. And these are the guys who you can't help but want to see succeed as they get this opportunity to show what they have. Laird's throw for Boo Williams is complete, and the Arkansas receiver takes it out to the 37-yard line. I mean, you talk about impressive physical specimens. This kid from Tallahassee, 6'4", 230-plus pounds.
Yeah, we'll see Boo coming out here, running just that little curl route. Good timing. Ball should be out right now. That's it. Come back, catch it, grab it in the hands, turn upfield. Nice timing right there between Laird and Boo Williams. Boy, that's a big fellow to throw to.
And you have to decide, Joel, you want to bulk him up. You're Shannon Sharp is a wide receiver coming into the NFL. You look at Tyrone Davis, wide receiver at Virginia. So I think that Byron Chamberlain at the college level was a wide out. So we have seen wide receivers who are already 230 coming out of the college ranks build themselves up and become move tight ends, H-backs.
That's right, that hybrid tight end. Shannon Sharp, very dangerous.
3rd and 3, a Laird throw right to Williams, and Williams dropped it. Zone coverage, he gave him a chance to get that first down, but Boo, who caught 52 this year, didn't hang on there.
Now he'll hear a couple of boos. Keep doing that.
Punt now is Laird, can't be faulted there. His first down pass was poor, but his second and third down passes were right on the mark. David Leverton, the Tennessee kicker, booting it away. Bobby Newcomb, very good punt returner in his own right. Mentioned David Allen before. And a lot of these players don't normally play special teams, but it's going to be the way some of them earn their paycheck in the NFL in 6 months. You certainly can't take these opportunities for granted. And Leverton just hangs up another beautiful kick. He's been doing that all week. Newcomb pulled down by Tommy Pauly after a return of about 8 yards. That was a 52-yard kick from the Tennessee Volunteer, who Philip Fulmer said was one of the most important players on his team this year.
It's been a long time coming, but I'm leaving you in good hands. Sarah?
Thanks, Dad. Taking care of business. In business, you can count on things to change. That's why millions of companies count on Office Depot.
Tommy Pauly on the sideline, the nice tackle. The NFL impact of this game, just look at the last 2 years. 102 players from last year's Senior Bowl were drafted. 93 players the year before. You see the number that made the roster. Essentially, 85–90% of the players here are players who we'll be talking about in mid-April at the draft.
14 first-round picks. We saw a lot of agents around here this week.
Lamont Jordan from Maryland explodes through the hole, delivers the blow, and gets a first down at the 32-yard line. 13-yard pickup for a running back who carried it a lot, 807 times, Mel, during his college career.
Where's the running back with a lot to prove? You know, the injuries this year, and of course Maryland, you look at the football team, the expectations, they weren't able to accomplish some of their goals. And for Lamont Jordan, he showed against Florida State when he had that big touchdown run that if he gets in the open field, he can turn on the Jets, Jaws. And I think when you look at Lamont Jordan, you would expect a higher grade. I think where we'll see him in April, maybe in the second round, not in the first like was anticipated back in August.
There was a lot of talk of him coming out last year around the Maryland program. Rosenfeld steps up in the pocket and throws complete to Chad Johnson, who took a shot, but the man who's opened a lot of eyes this week here in Mobile gets the first down after a pickup of 17.
Excellent job by Rosenfeld. They had a bow out to his right side. He actually came back to the third receiver, as you'll see right here. Chad Johnson running the square in backside. Nice job of moving in the pocket, allowing the receiver to uncover and hitting him in stride. Good job by Rosenfeld.
Yeah, physical ability, Charles. You look at him, 6'1" and a quarter, about 190 pounds, and with that explosive speed and the competitiveness of Chad Johnson is the reason why he has been the best player on the field all week.
Lamont Jordan.
There you go. There you go. Good job.
You hear some of the actions. We have players mic'd all over the field. Robert Carswell from Clemson made the tackle.
Made me a little nervous, Mike. I heard that popping going on down there.
It's Quentin Caver on the last play going after Lamont Jordan.
There you go.
Working off the block of Jabari Holloway, the Notre Dame tight end. After a pickup of 3, Rosenfeld's pass is caught. He's shy of a first down by a couple of yards. Sly Johnson from Miami of Ohio made the play.
Sly did a real nice job of finding the soft spot of that zone, sat down. Rosenfeld delivered the football on time. A little closer to that first down, third and short.
Made a point earlier, Mike, about Cedric Wilson, about a versatility. If you're going to be a 3 or a 4, you better be able to help in the return game, and Cedric Wilson can. And I think that's where Snoop Minnis really needed this game, because if he's not going to be your 2 or 3, is he going to help you as a 4th or 5th option if he's not going to help you on special teams?
Rosenfeld's quick count goes forward and gets the first down yardage. And when you talk about 2s and 3s, you're talking about in your receiver pecking order on your team. You have a number 1 receiver who's your game breaker, down the field, gets deep.
That could be Chad Johnson.
Yeah, he would be a number 1 receiver.
A 2 could be a Reggie Wayne.
Okay, a guy, you don't want to say a possession receiver because it almost has a third down type receiver attachment to it, but you're looking at Ed McCaffrey, who's a, quote, possession receiver who every once in a while can turn the corner and take a little hitch and make it a 20, 25-yard play.
But also, Mike, you're looking at the evolution of the pro passing game. You're looking at 4 and 5 wide receiver sets, so you need depth of position.
Rosenfeld's to Johnson to the 27-yard line. First down.
Of course, Chad Johnson's cousin, so he has 2 of them in the National Football League. You look at Samari Rolle, cornerback for the Titans, and also Keyshawn Johnson. Keyshawn was in town on Thursday to watch and support his cousin Chad Johnson.
Well, again, you'll see the nice stick to the inside, come back to the outside, locate the football, catch in your hands, and turn up the field. Mr. Cody must get a little bit tighter on that coverage there. Look in the backfield, read the quarterback's drop, and then drive the football. Don't lose sight of the quarterback or the receiver. Looked like Cody lost him there.
Ball was mismarked, so the north side will rehuddle.
Boy, Mike Mel mentioned a moment ago, boy, everybody was talking about Chad Johnson all week. I mean, his stock has really gone up this week.
It's one of those events where you have so many NFL people here. If you are good, it can move you up significantly in the draft. Lamont Jordan taking off his legs. Tommy Pauly made the play. Merrill Hodge on the sideline with another linebacker. Hodge.
Thanks, Mike. Actually, I've been trying to run down Torrance Marshall. You've been running up and down the sideline. You're not out there, but you're cheering your offense on. You like what you see?
Yeah, you know, right now we need some points on the board, and they're doing a good job moving the ball down the field. You know, I'm just trying to give them some extra, support.
Well, I tell you, if a running back goes down, it looks like you can go out there and handle it.
If need be. If need be. If need be.
All right, thanks, Torrance. Mike, back to you.
Oh, you everybody know what's up?
Everybody in Norman got to celebrate a couple of weeks ago the national championship. Halftime basketball celebration. This is a dead play. Flags were down. They didn't hear it on that far side. As Derek Burgess from Ole Miss is doing some chasing down.
Old Merrill down there, he's always, recruiting factor backs down there. He's taking a linebacker. Hey, you want to run the football? Yeah. Always working.
False start on the offense.
You know, that Tay Cody going up against Chad Johnson. Tay Cody only 5'9", 171, so you got 20 pounds on what Chad Johnson has in terms of an advantage over Tay Cody, several inches as well in that height advantage. And all Tay Cody does at Florida State, or did at Florida State, was make plays. But in the NFL, without great size or great recovery speed, that could push him maybe into that early second day area, Mike. We could be talking about him in the 4th round.
It'd be the 3 of us.
That's right.
That day's long enough. I got to put up with you guys in Mobile, too. Thank goodness Merrill and Adrian are here as a buffer. Rosenfeld's a little screen. Let's see Jordan as a pass receiver.
Set up.
Going down the field with the man Mel talked about, just ends up being around, making a play, whether it's a pick or a tackle. Tay Cody on the stop.
You'll see Rosenfeld set this up nicely. Double set, boom. Get rid of the football out in the flat. Offensive line did a good job. Watch Cody come out of nowhere, off the block, and make the play. That time he got Chad Johnson back. Johnson tried to block him, didn't get the block. Get in there. Good play by a corner, taking out the running back.
Definitely more physically skilled individuals have been at Florida State. But you said it, Mel. As the Florida State coaches said over and over, Mickey Andrews, the defensive coordinator, telling us a couple of times the last few years, Tay Cody just makes plays, period. Rosenfeld's pass is dropped. Slide Johnson.
Did I not? All right.
Wonder who that was, Mike.
Come on, man. I got 2 gunshots. I got 2 skates.
That is Fred Smoot from Mississippi State.
You'll see the out right here. Good delivery. Ball to the outside. Just got to put the ball away. Had the hands out there nicely. Mr. Johnson, just hold on.
Fred Smoot is known as one of the great talkers in college football, and you're going to get the opportunity to hear some of it. Let's hear him as they try to block Jamie Ream's field goal. No good.
Why, man? That's how got his hinges being blocked over. Good go. All day.
Fred Smoot and the South defense hold. Field goal no good from 40. South lead is 11. Well, the North not able to put up points on that last drive. The South leading 14-3. At the 52nd Senior Bowl, Adrian Karsten on the sideline.
Mike Tirico, Mike Sherman. Coach, I think speed, second effort, not only offensively, defensively, but especially on second team, rather special teams we just saw, has really, that advantage has fallen into your lap here in the first half.
Well, it appears that we're doing some decent things. We've capitalized on 2 turnovers, which is great, and Kendrell Bell from Georgia has had 2 opportunities, just beating the center or through the middle. He missed that first field goal, but I believe he got a hand on that second one. So those guys are doing a good job.
Coach, appreciate your time. We'll see you in the second half.
Thanks, Adrian. Mike Sherman, who did a fine job in his rookie season as coach of the Green Bay Packers, leading them to a 9-7 record. Day 368 of his coaching tenure. A year and a couple of days ago, he became the head coach in Green Bay. Travis Minor on the run. Moreland Greenwood, linebacker from Syracuse, made the play.
Mike, we talk about small college players in this game have a chance. We talked about Alex Bannister earlier, but Robert Garza, the center now, number 70, out of Texas A&M Kingsville. Garza 6'1.5", 293. A nice week. Strong. He's tough. And he's a very smart kid. And those are kind of the attributes you need to be an effective center. You see the small college kids. And Gerton Hartwell played in the East-West Shrine game, transferred from Wisconsin, Western Illinois, had a ton of tackles. You see Bannister Anderson's here today. He was a smooth strider and a guy that I think had a good week. Didn't make that wow-type play, Jaws, but I think turned some heads.
After the gain of 2, Garza, the man Mel talked about, the center. Minor on the run. Gets it out to the 30-yard line. Greenwood there again on the tackle, along with Legarius Jennings from Tennessee State, who's in that category Mel just talked about. But they're still the Javelinas, aren't they? Texas A&M Kingsville, the old Texas A&I.
We'll check on Garza here where he gets in there and makes some things happen. The offensive line coming off the ball, going with the lead. That's the way to hit it on up in there. Good job. Right there. That's what you got to do. Stick and stay.
Keenan Forney was on the double team at the center spot, and Kendrick Rogers in that right tackle spot. Alabama A&M. So a couple of players taking a step up in the classic competition here today on display in this drive. Here's Minor. Oh, shows a little bit of that burst. First down, and a flag came down as well. They're going to add on some yards. Mel, what are the questions regarding a very productive college back who scored 28 touchdowns and averaged 5 yards a carry in his career?
Well, I think when you look at Travis Minor, I think you think back up to a featured back and a guy who can catch the football, and also I think can give you like a Priest Holmes, that change of pace in the backfield. Priest Holmes did a great job for the Baltimore Ravens, accentuating the ability of Jamal Lewis, and I think that's the role that Travis Minor will have, Jaws, in the NFL.
Well, you can
First down.
definitely see the quickness.
Minor, the only player in the history of Florida State football to lead the team in rushing 4 consecutive years. See the 100-yard plus performances during his career, and we know about his ability to catch it out of the backfield. So, Mel, the question with Minor becomes, is he just a third down back, or can he be a third or fourth series in the game where you can get away with him on first, second, and third?
Well, I saw Travis last night. He's going to prove that I'm more than just that, a number 2 back. And Priest Holmes, when he was the starter, put up good numbers, but he's the kind of guy you wanted to replace with a talent like Jamal Lewis, and Holmes became a very valuable number 2 back.
The 45, Minor runs left, gains a couple of yards. Greenwood involved in the last couple of tackles. Zeke Moreno in there on the stop. His brother Moses Moreno is the San Diego Chargers reserve quarterback, oft injured. Comes from a sports-loving family. His mom played football for the Mighty Mamas of San Diego Women's Tackle Football League when Zeke was a kid. Dad, a big baseball player, which is actually Zeke's best sport coming into his college days, but he ended up sticking with college at Southern Cal for the now former Trojan coach, Paul Hackett. Led the team defensively in tackles. Put it in the hands of Scotty Anderson from Grambling. A nice move, and got a good downfield block from Garza as well, as he turned what could have been a negative play into a first down for the South. 10-yard pickup.
Spoke to Tom Rossley, who's calling the plays right now for the South offense. He said the reverses would be part of their game plan. Obviously came back with one right there with Scotty Anderson on the run. Well, Ben Laird tried to make a play, didn't get it. Tried to get that block in there. If he would have got it, I would have put a circle on him, Mike, but we'll just overlook that one. I don't want to get my quarterbacks in trouble here.
Well, he looks like he's ready to be an NFL quarterback.
Oh,
just
there you go.
The get in the way block, right?
That was a whiff. Merrill Hodge probably calling him over, wants to give him some back-to-back blocking lessons now.
Laird, who threw it about 26 times per game for Auburn this year. Minor a run. He got stuck with Travis Minor. He had first down yardage. It was Ligarius Jennings coming up with the big pop.
Jennings up against Boo Williams. Ligarius Jennings, 5'9", 200 pounds, compact, strong against the bigger wide receiver Boo Williams. And I think when you look at the other side right now, Balju from Penn State had a pretty productive year, Charles. But yeah, the people talk about feet and quickness at corner. When you are somewhat of a longer strider, how will you come out of that break as a cornerback in the NFL?
Yeah, it's that transition, and a word you hear a lot of scouts use, the suddenness of that transition. You know, it's so important that you can make that move, because you know in the National Football League, every wide receiver can flat out fly.
Second and a couple for Ben Laird, and the South trying to add to an 11-point lead here in the Senior Bowl. Pass caught by Anderson. There is the pull down by Balju. 7-yard pickup.
Nice grab by Anderson. The ball a little bit behind him, made the proper adjustment, showed very good body control. You'll see the 3-step drop, the quick slant to the inside, ball slightly behind him, allows him to turn, get back to the outside, catch the ball in your hands, try to make some positive yards on it. But the one thing, Mel, we always talk about when we look at receivers, the ability to control your body. You know, every ball is not going to be perfect. You're going to have to adjust to the ball in the air. There we saw Scotty Anderson do an outstanding job. Now, watch the St. Louis Ram receivers. Everyone talks about their speed, their athleticism, but the one thing they can all do is control their body when the ball is in the air and adjust to it.
Inside of 2 minutes here in the second half, the South leading by 11. Laird looking for Williams. incomplete. Boo Williams from Arkansas couldn't hang on. That's 3 times we've seen Legarius Jennings somewhere around the football.
Earlier, Mike, we mentioned Robert Garza, the center from A&M Kingsville. The #1 center is Dominic Raiola from Nebraska, junior, coming out early. We see Ben Hamilton in this game. Garza, the 2nd highest rated pivot man right now. But the influence of the juniors, Mike, we go to the positions and we see juniors at the top of the list at a variety of spots, and even the 1st and 2nd highest rated player. So you could conceivably see 10 or 11 juniors go in the 1st round.
But isn't that a good sign, Mel? Doesn't that show juniors who did come out are making those juniors are making a good decision?
Yeah, I think in that case, definitely, Mike. And 6 of the first 7 picks overall could be juniors.
Wow. On the 25, Minor couldn't pick up the block from Forney, the Hawaii offensive lineman. And a timeout will be taken by the South with 52 seconds to play. There was no 2-minute warning, even though their NFL coaching staffs were playing college rules, with the exception of the slight changes that are made in terms of blitzing and defenses.
Mike, you talked earlier about is speeding up the game of college football. And the one thing I see, the only time in college football where the clock continues, where the NFL it stops, is on a sack. Everything else, the clock stops. And I say, on 1st downs, you stop the clock. If you leave it running on 1st downs, you'll take some time off the clock and make it a faster game.
I agree with you. Let's step out for a second. The South leads by 11. And chill in the air in Mobile, Alabama, all the way down here on the Gulf. They don't usually get it this cold. They say if you buy a winter coat, or you buy even a jacket, you maybe wear it 5 or 6 times a year, most years. But I was here for the Mobile, Alabama Bowl, and it was cold that day too. So I'm thinking it's me, guys. Ben Laird trying to get the South in the end zone here. Had an 11-point advantage. Reggie Wayne from Miami of Florida.
Snatch that ball, Joel.
Ah, that's the beautiful thing. I love to see the receiver catch the ball in his hands.
Timeout taken by the South with 43 seconds. It will be 1st and 10 from the 11 when we come back to the 2001 Senior Bowl. Down on Dolphin Street here in Mobile, the Oyster House. Jaws had dinner there the other night, I hear.
Excellent, excellent food.
Passed the Jaws approval to. Did Merrill pick up the check?
Yeah, by the way, he did. Yeah.
He did. Very nice. Merrill Hodge.
Well, we had all the Steeler guys with us.
Oh, okay, that's why. South looking to add the lead, add to an 11-point advantage. See what Ben Laird shows in the red zone here. 43 seconds to go. Cedric Wilson bumped down by Gerard Cooper from K-State. That's going to be a 1st down just inside the 2. Jennings and Cooper there on the coverage. We keep it going. 35 seconds left as the clock stopped for the 1st down. 34 now.
Nice throw by Laird. Put it right on the body into coverage.
Spread out, 4 receivers. And the fade for Wilson, who was tied up with Legarius Jennings.
You know, Mike, so often people talk about quarterbacks coming from this level to the next level. They talk about the guy that can run, the guy that has the big arm, and the most overlooked aspect of playing the quarterback position is accuracy. If you're not accurate, I don't care how much talent you have, you cannot play in the National Football League. What we're seeing out of Ben Laird right now, he's warmed up, starting to become much more accurate with his throws.
Moran Norris from Kansas is checked into the game. Fullback for the South. Down at the 2-yard line with 25 seconds to go. There's Norris, who has the Kansas School all-time bench press record of 540 pounds. Blair keeps and scores. Touchdown, South. Sherman's team leads 20-3.
Nice job by Laird getting on the perimeter, driving it in the end zone. A little misdirection. Get on the edge, try to make a play.
13-play, 78-yard drive. They ran for the first part of that drive until we had 1:15 left, and they went to the 2-minute offense and were effective moving down the field. Scott Westerfield adds the extra point to make it 21-3. Westerfield from Mississippi State Hit some big kicks in his career there. Laird leads the touchdown for the South.
It's Menard's Super Winter Sale.
First team All-SEC quarterback Ben Laird in conversation with another SEC star, and Cedric Wilson.
See, Mike, you're complaining about the weather. Look at those guys. It's a beautiful day out here in Mobile.
I wasn't complaining. I was just pointing out that it was unseasonably cool. Mentally prepared for one weather and get to the other. There's Westerfield, who had a game-winning kick. Oh, it was Thanksgiving night, 99. So Mississippi State over Ole Miss. And I did the game with Lee Corso and Kirk Herbstreit. And Lee, we gave out a pie, a dessert. Since our Thanksgiving night game is traditionally the last game of the holiday. And John Madden gives out the turkey legs and Phil Simms gets out an iron. So Lee and Kirk give out pies as dessert. Well, Westerfield was awarded Lee's pecan pie. Westerfield stops me in the lobby yesterday and said, "Tell Coach Corso I never got my pecan pie." Scott holding a grudge from a year. Flag is down as Newcomb runs out of bounds. Then I saw his mom in the lobby this morning, and she said, "You know, my son never got that pecan pie from Coach Corso." So, Lee, you've been put on notice.
Yeah, holding out.
Scott Westerfield is expecting a pecan pie in Starkville soon.
Lee ate the pie, huh?
On the return, team, on the return. Penalties 10 yards, first down.
New quarterback in the game for the North here with 13 seconds before the half. It's Rashard Casey, the Penn State quarterback. A late add to this game. He was the MVP of the Gridiron Classic that Lee and Jerry Punch brought you last week on ESPN2 down in Orlando. Had a good outing in that one as he was 7 of 8. Really did it with his feet, running for 41 yards. He saw his season numbers, third on the team as well in rushing with 315 yards. Lamont Jordan takes it out to the 26-yard line, a first down. They chose not to stop the clock after the first down, and the half is over. So, Mel, we bring up what happens. The games are going long, and the first half took an hour and 15 minutes.
Unbelievably quick.
Merrill Hodge with Bill Cowher. Go ahead, Merrill.
18, what do you tell the kids?
Well, right now, I mean, you got 30 minutes. They scored 21 and a half. There's no reason why we can't. We get the ball to start the second half. So we got to come out the first half, the first series, and reestablish ourselves.
Okay. Thanks, Coach. Good luck in the second half. Let's go over to the south side and Adrian Karsten. Adrian?
Throughout his career, Merrill, every time Ben Laird has had an opportunity, he's taken it. Congratulations on that touchdown.
Thank you very much. It was a big drive for us. We wanted to put us up by at least 3 scores, and we fortunately we were able to put the ball in the end zone.
Ben, what is it like playing with all of this talent?
It's unbelievable. With the talent all around the nation I've been able to play with, fortunately, the last 2 weeks, one in San Francisco and in this game, it's unbelievable. And I'm feeling very fortunate to be in this situation.
Back in the locker room you go before you get in trouble. Mike?
Nice guy, Adrian. You'll write him a note. 21-3 lead on the North as we welcome you back for our halftime. We've seen the first half, and the game tapes from the first and the second half are being filmed by the NFL coaches, the way they like to look at the game films, and will be sent to every NFL team. But the game is important, not the most important part of the week. It might be the Monday through Thursday practices that the players have. It's a tough week for them. They arrive on Sunday night, get a playbook, go to a meeting and say to learn the playbook. And then as they come out to try to learn what they have just found out, here come all these coaches, familiar faces like Jim Moore from the Colts, and you have scouts and coaches and general managers, assistant coaches from NFL teams right there on the field watching every drill. Receiver coaches watching the receivers. Linebacker coaches are watching the linebackers, and so on and so forth. So when you talk about what this week means to the players, it's being coached by NFL personnel for the first time. And more importantly, it's being scrutinized with everything they do. And some of it also, Mel and Jaws, is not just how they perform on the field, but also how they interview. Teams come in and have a lot of conversations with the players. They are really testing every part of the player that they get to see this week.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. It's not only their ability to play the game on the field, it's the character issue, the kind of people that they are. The coaches interview these guys. They sit down, they want to know what's in their heart, in their belly, in their mind. Because when they draft these guys, they want to be sure that they're getting a quality person as well as a quality football player.
Mel, you would be best to assess, because we talk about the scouting combine that comes up next month and the personal testing at the campuses very often. How important is the Senior Bowl week in the whole process for the NFL people.
It's critical, Mike, to gain momentum going into the combine workout and the individual workouts that take place. And some players this week, I think, really took advantage of that opportunity and had outstanding performances week to week, day by day. I think now is the time to get it done and become a playmaker. Chad Johnson did that this week and was consistent day to day. Jeff Backus at left tackle showed that, hey, despite the shorter arms that maybe some people prefer, not the greatest of feet, he's a gamer. Mike McMahon, after the blue-gray effort, strong performance this week. And Willie Howard, because of his versatility. We talked about Reggie Wayne and those great hands, skilled route runner. All 5 of those young men, I think, really enhanced their draft position this week.
We'll see McMahon from Rutgers for the North squad in the second half. A player who not only had the good week, but has had a good first half is LaDainian Tomlinson from TCU. The Doak Walker Award winner, is the best running back in the nation. Had an early touchdown and had 11 carries for 44 yards. Part of the South leads the North.
The very talented offense of the South squad really has dominated the first half here, 21-3, as we welcome back to Mobile, Alabama. Adrian Karsten alongside Merrill Hodge. Mike Sherman, head coach of the Packers and coaching the South squad, Merrill, said that, yes, it's important for all these seniors to have a good week, but today is the day, and I think LaDainian Tomlinson, the nation's leading rusher, showed that right out from the gate.
Well, absolutely. You know, during the week, coaches get a chance to evaluate kind of work habits, but where you want to evaluate them is how do they perform? How do they perform under certain situations? That's game situations. That's why this game is so important. And LaDainian Tomlinson really established the tempo and set it up for the South and how he ran the football, and I think it shows what type of pro he's going to be. He has terrific feet. He's got great explosiveness. He's got a great upper body strength, breaks tackles. He runs into the secondary. He did all of that in a matter of a few plays in the first quarter. He's a tempo setter. He's a guy that you can rely on 25 carries throughout the course of the game and obviously 16 weeks.
2,158 total yards in the regular season, 4th in the Heisman Trophy voting. I talked to him at the Heisman Trophy presentation back in New York City just more than a month ago, and he said, you know, I want people to forget that. I want them to remember what I do today, potentially becoming the first back taken in this year's NFL draft. Jesse Palmer, one of 2 quarterbacks who has made a lot of noise for the South squad early on, rolling out to the right beautifully, almost like the guy named Jaworski, and he scored a touchdown for the South as well. We'll be back right after this.
The greatest in the world. Ready to take on the NBA's greatest? Use 1-800-CALL-ATT for collect calls for your chance to enter to win the ultimate NBA fan experience. Woo! You could win a trip to NBA All-Star 2001 with VIP seats, access to private parties, and a chance to hang with an NBA star.
Just drive it right down the center.
1-800-CALL-ATT. The more you use 1-800-CALL-ATT, the more chances you have to enter to win a trip to NBA All-Star 2001.
You can't stop me.
You gotta be kidding.
Tiger's considering a driver.
I'm going.
He's crazy. He doesn't have that shit on his back.
That's sheer madness.
What's his funeral?
It looks like it's going to be a watery grave.
He's got the most powerful drive in his class. Wow! And it's available with a really cool CD player.
Anyone need a towel?
The 240 horsepower Regal GS by Buick.
Sheer madness, huh?
Right now, get $1,000 cash back on all new 2001 Buick Regals.
You know, it takes a lot of hard work, guts, and determination to play this sport. It takes commitment. It takes a competitive spirit. It takes teamwork. It takes leadership. NCAA football is a tradition. It's a family affair.
NCAA football. Pass it on.
Downtown Mobile, Alabama, just a few miles away at Ladd Peoples Stadium. South leading the North 21-3 in the 2001 Senior Bowl here on ESPN. So glad to have the Senior Bowl as part of our college football coverage. Speaking of college football, what a year for this guy. Going for Morales, who's got it at the 10. Touchdown, Seth Morales of Purdue. Drew Brees, the quarterback of Purdue. He will play his final game as a college football player for his head coach, Joe Tiller, in the final game of the season, the 2001 Rivals.com Hula Bowl. 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific, 3 Hawaiian tonight on ESPN. Let's listen to Bill Cowher, coach of the North squad, in the locker room.
Now listen, offense is 21-3. We got to take this kickoff and we got to take it down. We haven't punted yet. The only thing we've done is stopped ourselves. We get in the red zone, we got to finish the drives. Defensively, we got to start going after the football. We need some turnovers. We got to start jumping some of the quick games. Make sure you know the back that's in the game. You know, minor throws that are cutback type runners. Understand that. We're going to go out. It's 21-3. Set the tempo with this kickoff return. Get back in the game with a score. And there's 30 minutes left. Now let's go play some football. Let's go.
Let's go. Last thing I want to talk to you about is what we talked about yesterday, respect for this game. And that means you go out there, you play hard, and you have class. You understand what I'm saying? And when you score touchdowns, you come back and congratulate your teammates because they blocked or they protected for you, whatever the case may be. But let's have respect for the game like we talked about last night. You guys understand? That means we play hard as well. That means we don't let up in the second half. It means we give this game the very best we have in the second half. Bring them in. Let's go.
Two great examples for these players to follow. Some of the most inspirational coaches in the NFL. Ben Laird respects the game as well as anyone seen here today. Back in Mobile, 2001 Senior Bowl, 52nd playing of this game. They've all happened here at what was known as Ladd Stadium, now known as Ladd Peebles Stadium. Mr. Peebles and the chairman of the Senior Bowl for a long time, and very important contributor to this game's future. The stats of the first half show a pretty even story, except for what Bill Cowher alluded to, that his team, the North, has stopped itself.
Yeah, turnovers right there, Mike. Those are always the killers in any football game at any level.
Before the second half, let's check in Adrian Karsten and Merrill Hodge.
The influence of the NFL, Mike Tirico, as you can see, not only is on the field, but obviously on the sidelines. Merrill, we're covering all elements today, aren't we?
We sure are. There's a lot of tough players down here, but nobody is dressed like this.
It's the talent level. We've been talking about talent level all day long. You may not see their names in the program, but then won't see ours either.
It might be hard to find us in the next second half.
We'll be standing by.
Thank you, guys. It's just, you know, I'm sure they're big Ask Adrian and NFL Tonight Edge matchup fans. Very closely follow Adrian and Merrill's ESPN job duties on a weekly basis.
You know, I noticed Merrill took his Steeler jacket off and had his $1,200 suit on for that interview there.
Scott Westerfield will kick it off here for the South. As Bill Cowher said, North gets the ball. Mel Kiper, anybody stick out for you there in that first half?
I think there was several players. I think with LP Tomlinson early on. Tommy Powley's been very active. You know, waiting at 218, but has made some plays. Kendrell Bell's names come up. Kevin Barlow showed some quickness, but he did have the turnover, Mike.
On the kickoff return, the Nebraska star, Bobby Newcomb, takes it out to the 30-yard line. And Richard Casey will get a couple of series here at quarterback. I mentioned Casey from Penn State, a late add to this game as he came in after performing in the Gridiron Classic over in Florida a week ago today. Richard had a big off-the-field issue with a grand jury investigation that did not lead to charges from an off-season incident in a southern New Jersey establishment, and it may have been damaging to Penn State's Fred Smoot talking in the background, by the way. It may have been damaging to Penn State's team chemistry as the season got started, and it may have caused them more stress than people thought it would at the start of the year. Casey, for his part, was very stand-up about it as the season went on. Joe Paterno took a lot of the heat and the criticism for what was going on in the entire situation in terms of would Casey be suspended or would he play. Richard ended up not being charged. Thus, a lot of people who were making statements that Joe Paterno should have done something and ended up, to be very honest, with egg on their face. And Paterno, as he usually does, turned out to be the guy who was right in the end.
Well, the foundation is innocent until proven guilty, and obviously Richard Casey was never even indicted in the matter, so he is innocent.
From the 30, the throw is complete, 7 yards. Chad Johnson. Fred Smoot. If you don't follow college football, Fred Smoot had a fans put together a website called smootsmack.com. Here he was in the last play, guarding the Oregon State receiver. Mel, will NFL teams grade down because a player is chatty like that?
Not a performance. What Fred Smoot has to do is just focus on getting the job done. We had a completion that should have been, was dropped, and he was still talking after that. Here a catch by Chad Johnson. Heck of a matchup right now.
Throw to Newcomb on the near side, got around Tay Cody and got a first down at the 46-yard line. to Bobby Newcomb with the pass catch. He only caught 19 this year and 45 in his career. Is he a wide receiver in the NFL?
I think he's a wide out. He can be a slot receiver in the return games where he's going to have to do his job. And I think Cedric Wilson as well is going to have to do a job in the return game and be a third option. Here, Tate Cody misses the open field tackle. We say he was a playmaker, even though he didn't have great size or great recovery speed. There in the open field, Newcomb got the best of him. We talked about Rashard Casey. He's not going to beat you, Mike, with his arm. He's going to beat you with his legs and his mobility. And that ability to scramble around, create some positive yardage, will get him into a camp and maybe give him an opportunity to make a football team.
From the 45. Fake to Lamont Jordan. Reverse to Newcomb. Did a lot of this for the Cornhuskers. Might take this one a long way.
Tommy Polly had the angle.
Yep, pushed him out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Nice gain of 39 on the play for the North.
Bill Cowher said his team must come out and take this opening kickoff and drive it down the field. You'll see the nice job on the reverse here. Casey faking the handoff, delivering the ball deep in the backfield. Nice move right there to set up the block. Gave him the seam, up the field. Now he's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, trying to get in the end zone. Almost. Polly makes the play.
Well, Newcomb, of course, was a quarterback his first couple of years on option runs, and then in the wingback role for Nebraska. Multidimensional, ran it a little bit. As we mentioned, caught passes. Lamont Jordan at about 5 to the 10. Tony Dixon from Alabama in on the tackle.
I'll tell you, Jeff Backus, left tackle, number 79 from Michigan Wolverines, doing a nice job again today. And you see the ability to keep that defensive end at bay, Jaws. And I'll tell you, he is technically sound. He's a veteran. He's been unbelievably durable throughout his career in Ann Arbor.
And on that delay, Dan Alexander, the fullback, did a nice job of picking up the blitz into the backfield. You'll see it right there. And you saw the pickup by Alexander. Gave the back running room to hit it up inside. Good awareness by the fullback. When those linebackers start hitting those gaps, you've got to have your head on a swivel and pick them up.
Back has turned out Randy Garner there, Mike, the right defensive end from Arkansas.
Absolutely. After the pickup of 4, Mike Jordan throw the ball. Cowher going into the playbook. Incomplete. Lamont pass intended for Margin Hooks. Lamont Jordan has thrown 3 passes that I remember seeing, and a couple of them on Thursday night games, so we know Lamont has that ability to throw.
Well, Mike, you know what's kind of interesting? We now have Mike Malarkey calling the plays for the North team. Now he's taking over as the offensive coordinator for the Steelers. We have never seen the Steelers pretty much run plays like that. Maybe next year the Steelers might be opening things up. Halfback option passes.
Ready?
We have Chad Johnson now against Tate Cody. Smoot covering Bobby Newcomb on this particular play.
3rd and 6. Smoot matchups up at the top of your screen. Cody down at the bottom. Casey in trouble. The face mask flag is coming here. So it's going to keep the drive going, if not a first down. If it's a 5-yard penalty, we'll give him another shot at 3rd and short. Ron mentioned the offensive coordinator change. Mike Malarkey is the new offensive coordinator for the Steelers, replacing Kevin Gilbride. Change that happened a couple of weeks ago. That's a 5-yard face mask penalty, so you'll repeat 3rd down. It was Kenny Smith from Alabama, the guilty party, as you see right there.
He was looking to Johnson, but Cody had the coverage, and then, of course, Kenny Smith, a kid who has outstanding physical ability and flashes first-round ability, but lacks the necessary consistency, which could push Kenny Smith down just a bit, maybe into round 2.
We'll see what play call comes in on 3rd and 1. The Steelers sideline, Mike Malarkey taking over as the offensive coordinator. Tom Clements hired as the quarterback, the old Notre Dame quarterback, as the quarterback's coach, a position Bill Cowher has not had on his staff in his prior years as coach of the Steelers. Casey, not away from one man, can't get away from the rest of the rush. A man who played well on this field in the bowl game, Cedric Scott from Southern Miss with the sack. Lost 10. There's a marker down on the far side. And he's dropped at the line of scrimmage.
Field goal unit is coming on. Legal procedure.
So it will be 4th down after the false start. And Jamie Ream will get another opportunity to face the rush. Jamie Ream second in the Lou Groza Award voting. It's the award that goes to the best college kicker. The last 2 years he's been the runner-up. First team All-American in some places from 34 yards. No good. Very hard to judge kickers in a game like this. Zeke Marino is snapping. He's not a normal snapper at USC. You don't have your normal holder. Missed field goal. After the missed field goal, the South will take over, leading by 18. New quarterback in the game. It is David Rivers, 1AA quarterback, Western Carolina. The Augusta, Georgia native. Did spend time at Virginia. Transferred from the Cavaliers to a 1AA school, so he didn't have to sit out a year, and put up a lot of good stats. Toss to LaDainian Tomlinson. Loses a yard.
I told you, not all day.
Torrance Marshall made the tackle.
Yeah, all day.
As you can hear, he's wearing a microphone. MVP of the FedEx Orange Bowl. Tracking down LT.
LT got off to a fast start.
And I told you, not all day.
I don't think he took off the helmet to yap. I think the helmet was coming off, but it added to the effect.
In the NFL, it would have been a penalty.
That's right. 99, he was the Big 12 Defensive Newcomer of the Year. Was outstanding this year. Player who was at a school that didn't have a football program, Miami-Dade. Rivers will throw. This is caught first tight end catch of the day. It's Brian Natkin from UTEP. Natkin caught 64 balls this year and one of the better senior tight ends in the country.
Good hands, Mike, and he has moved up into that top 3 in terms of the tight end position, maybe even into the top 2, right behind junior Todd Heap from Arizona State, who has tried during individual workouts to become like a Tony Gonzalez, a mid-first round draft choice. I think Natkin could be the second tight end or third tight end off the board. Caught the ball real well, Jaws, and showed some quickness in the open field.
Did a real nice job there knowing he was going to take the hit and holding on to the football. And Rivers also did a good job of looking down the gun barrel, taking the hit, and delivering a strike.
On 3rd and 4. Rivers' pass is incomplete for Reggie Wayne. The coverage from gentleman from Akron, Dwight Smith.
Charles, look at the hitch in David Rivers' delivery. He has a strong arm, but he has that hitch, and that does allow cornerbacks the opportunity, like Dwight Smith did there, to break on the ball.
Well, he actually got rid of the ball, I think, in real good time. Plant, throw, the ball was out. Give Smith tremendous credit. He drove the football, and a good corner will read the quarterback's drop. When that back foot plants, he's going to read the receiver as well as the drop and drive with the football. Smith did a nice job.
How much does the hitch bother you? Kerry Collins had the hitch.
Well,
now he's playing the Super Bowl.
Yeah, those are mechanical things that you can work on. If a guy has a live arm and for the most part good proper mechanics, I think a little hitch can be overcome. Eventually, you know, work with it like Collins did, like Randall Cunningham did, and it's gone.
David Leverton to punt. Not as good a kick this time for the Tennessee Volunteer.
Go, Colin.
And Newcomb's brought down at the 38-yard line. Corey Bird in on the tackle. 40-yard kick, 4-yard return. ABC's college basketball presented by Payne Weber tomorrow. 2 very good games. You'll see Maryland, North Carolina State out of the ACC. Or number 9 Syracuse against number 19 Seton Hall at the Meadowlands in New Jersey. 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific. Regional coverage on ABC Sports. Tune into the Syracuse-Seton Hall game. We don't know who's going to be doing that game. I'm supposed to, but my flight's been canceled, so we'll find out. Supposed to work with my buddy Len Elmore up at the Meadowlands tomorrow. Lenny just did the Georgia Tech game. I don't know how he's getting up to New York either, so, you know, it may be 2 guys off the street doing the game. And it might be better.
Mike, come with me to Tampa. It's nice and warm down there.
We'll be down with you Monday. Our Super Bowl coverage gets started on ESPN and ESPN2. Lamont Jordan with a toss on first down for about a yard as Rashard Casey stays in at quarterback. It'll be 2nd and 9.
Like we saw in that last sack by Cedric Scott that set up the field goal was missed by Ream. A sack by Cedric Scott when he was working against right tackle Mo Williams. And Maurice Williams back in there now against Derek Burgess, defensive end from Ole Miss. When you get up a sack like that, Rashard Casey pressured. A talent like Mo Williams, a competitor, will come back the next series, next opportunity, and get after you.
If you had to rank the 3 Michigan linemen in order, would it be Hutchinson first and Williams third with Backus in the middle of those 2?
Right now, Hutchinson would be the number 1 guard. So Steve Hutchinson, the number 1 pure guard. Backus in there at tackle, probably 2-3 overall, and Williams probably 4th or 5th highest rated offensive tackle, Mike. And Williams played right tackle, Backus left tackle. Hutchinson, of course, was a left guard and a defensive lineman early on. You look at Hutchinson, a guy is a tough kid, tremendous mobility and quickness. He'll get downfield. You watch him here as a left guard at Michigan with the ability to drive that defensive tackle, open up the lane for Anthony Thomas. And what really impressed you with Hutchinson is he's not satisfied just blocking one guy. He'll move down the field. He'll open up opportunities down the field for Anthony Thomas, the 8th grade. They're about, Jaws, 15 yards down the field, making a block in space.
You got to love that.
Casey steps up, takes off. What he does best, gets out to the 48-yard line. Be right at the 1st and 10 line. Pick up the 13, should get it for him. You talked about Hutchinson. His senior year in Ann Arbor, he had company in that city from his parents, who in a travel trailer came to Ann Arbor to live for the year so they could be around their son as he closed off what I think is the most impressive of all the stats we talk about here. 4-time first team all Big Ten, only the 4th player in the history of the conference. No sacks allowed the last 2 years, but to be 4-time all Big Ten as an offensive lineman and a freshman to be voted all Big Ten, you had to be impressive to do it in the first year.
No question. And what I always ask Charles and Mike, every NFL scout, personnel guy, GM I talk to is, if you could take 1 or 2 players out of this game and put them on your team, who would it be? And it was either Chad Johnson or Steve Hutchinson were the 2 players that really the majority named as the 2 that they would rather, if they had their druthers, take out of this game, Charles, and put on their roster.
Yeah, it's amazing as you look at the pro game now in the National Football League. The impact players are now offensive linemen, not only wide receivers or quarterbacks or running backs. You're throwing in a mix of offensive linemen. I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that say, hey, it might be a linebacker like a Ray Lewis, a defensive pass rushing end like a Michael Strahan. You've got to have the impact guys.
Just short of it, Cowher going on 4th and inches. Pitch to Jordan left. Lamont Jordan slipped and fell, but got a first down at the 45.
That was a play made famous by Marshall Falk in the St. Louis Rams a year ago called 90 flip. Fake the dive inside, pitch it to the outside. You'll see exactly what you're trying to do here.
What does 90 flip mean?
Right there. See that end crash like that? Yeah. He shouldn't be doing that, because if he does that, the ball's coming to the outside, Michael. That's a quick lesson 101.
See, I know you don't have the Edge NFL matchup show this week. You'll have the Super Bowl show with you, Merrill, and Susie Colbert next week. But I know you're having withdrawal here for a week of not talking XO and breaking it down. So.
No, this has been beautiful with all the coaches and directors of player personnel, all these football people here this week. Man, I'm getting goosebumps.
Casey's pass is incomplete, intended for Mike Ciramelli, his Penn State teammate, the fullback. We talked about the Super Bowl week and Edge NFL matchup, just part of our Super Bowl 35 coverage that will really begin with SportsCenter tomorrow night, but begins in earnest on ESPN2 starting Monday. We'll all be down in Tampa, live press conference coverage throughout the week. We'll bring in Media Day on Tuesday, the Commissioner's press conference on Friday, the NFL Tonight with Mark Malone every night on ESPN2. Sunday NFL Countdown, a Saturday edition of Monday Night Countdown, prime time after the game. Just turn it on ESPN all week. We've got you covered from the ball. Casey's screen pass, Lamont Jordan. 43-yard line. Derek Burgess in there for the last hit. The Ole Miss defender out of the state of Maryland tackles the running back from Forestville, Maryland. He caught 76 balls out of the backfield during his career, Mel, so we say it's a question, but isn't there enough of a sample to know that he's a decent pass receiver?
Yeah, I think it is, Mike. And I think when you look at Lamont Jordan, a back that had some injury problems to work through this year. And, of course, remember, he didn't have a chance to really go through and prepare for the season, getting his academic situation in order at Maryland. But a strong runner and does have a lot of speed. He can hit the home run. Florida State's defense found that out on a Thursday night on ESPN.
32 run right is a first down for Jordan. Delivers the blow across the 30. And to the 28-yard line. You would think in a Pittsburgh Steeler offense, a guy like Lamont Jordan would fit. Big, bruising, dependable back.
Well, he measured at 5'9" 7", so 5'9" 3/4", 228 pounds, and he does retain at a nearly 230, Jaws, the ability to go 70, 80 yards when the opportunity presents itself.
And you notice when people hit his legs, they just bounce off him. See right there, Robert Newhouse style of running, the old Dallas Cowboy running back. You hit him low, he wasn't going down.
At 28, the right tackle did move after the defensive Push motion across the line. We'll check if the flag is thrown on Maurice Williams from Michigan.
Well, Michael, my trained eye tells me that the defense encroached first and then the offense moved. Now, that would be my call, but I'm going to be wrong.
No, it's not that you're wrong. It's just that the officials disagreed. I happen to agree with you. So does Bill. Hard to believe that Bill Cowher next year starts year 10 as head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Denny Green and Bill Cowher, longest tenure.
Unbelievable.
Cowher and Chuck Noll, only 2 men to coach the Steelers in the last 32 seasons.
Tremendous tradition and great success. Bill's smiling.
First and 15. See what Alex Bannister from Eastern Kentucky can do. He can drop the ball. He recovered it. Larry Kasher was right on him. It's a catch and a yard loss.
The last head coach to beat the Baltimore Ravens.
Bill Cowher and the Steelers.
9-6 at BSI Net Stadium. Here you look at Alex Bannister. We talk about an angular wideout, Jaws. He needs to get a little stronger. He needs to put on a little bit of weight, add some strength to that frame so he can get off press coverage, Jaws.
Yeah, and Rashard Casey needs to get that ball down a little bit on the body. You don't want to hang your receiver out like that. You want to get it to him quickly on the body so he could make a move, get away from the defender.
Bannister lost a yard on that last catch. Casey delivers and Bannister can't hang on. Had to go up a little bit to get it, and Kasher was there to break it up.
Got to make that catch, Joe. Just a hair behind him. Maybe not the good tight spiral you'd like to see, but Rashard put that ball right where it needs to be. That was a catchable ball, should have been caught.
Tell you, Cedric Scott, defensive end from Southern Miss, is getting after it today. He's been outmatched mostly against Maurice Williams, and here's a guy who led the Golden Eagles. He had 12 sacks. He had 19 tackles for loss. Against Houston, he had 4 sacks. He had a great game against Tennessee, and with his size at almost 6'5", about 270, he's a guy, one game day with the pads on, Jaws, makes things happen. He's done it today against Mo Roden.
Needing to get to the 18 for a first down. Casey getting a chance the last 2 snaps to throw from the pocket. And that one is converted to Margin Hooks, the BYU wide receiver. Larry Kasher's been getting a lot of calls here tonight.
Also excellent anticipation by Rashard Casey that time. Planted that back foot, delivered the football before the receiver broke. Right at that first down marker. Excellent throw.
They did pick up the first down.
Kasher's chance, Mike, probably won't come as a starter in the NFL as a corner. It's going to have to be nickel dime back situation for a corner who lacks the ideal size.
Mel, there is such a need for defensive backs in the National Football League. It's incredible. Anyone that watched that Minnesota Vikings secondary last week against the Giants, it goes to show if you don't have 6 or 7 guys that can cover a wide receiver, you're in for a long afternoon.
Casey to Hooks. Martin didn't hang on. It's incomplete. Mel, you said ideal size for a corner. What is the size they're looking for now?
Well, I think when you look at Kasher at 5'9 3/4", 5'10", only 167 pounds, and I think that's where you get these big wideouts now, Mike. They're 6 feet plus, 6'2" plus, and these big wideouts are going to have a big edge. That's huge advantage against smaller corners. And when you look at the extra wideouts, Jaws, are in place now. You need those 3, that 3rd corner and that 4th corner to be able to match up, and that allows Kasher an opportunity,
especially in the red zone where size becomes very important. You want to have those bigger corners.
Here's Casey throwing 2 hooks. Play gained a few yards.
When we talk about corners who have the ideal size, Mike, Ken Lucas from Ole Miss. He was a wide receiver, became a corner, and Lucas, 6 foot even, about 196 pounds. And when we look at the blue chip corners, Fred Smoot, only 168, but a guy that played in that 3-deep zone, also played in press coverage. He's right there with Lucas. Andre Dyson had 10 interceptions at Utah over the last 2 years and 4 picks this week. He has moved up. Middlebrooks had the injury late. Minnesota's defense really struggled thereafter. If he works out well, Middlebrooks has the size to really become a factor in the months and weeks leading up to the draft.
Casey gets sacked. He had nowhere to go. Pocket closed on him quick. Kenny Smith's going to come up with the sack, but there were a couple of players who deserve credit in there, including Randy Garner, Arkansas defensive lineman.
Real quick pressure up the middle. You'll see Everett just blow it right up inside. Casey never had a chance on this one. Boy, he had like a rocket on his back right there into the backfield.
Did a nice job of hanging on to the ball. It was Garner who popped it free. Derek Burgess got in there as well on 4th down. The kicking's been such a struggle. They're going to go for it. even though they need 11.
Good choice.
Screen on 4th and 11. Lamont Jordan got a good downfield block and fights forward for the first down.
That's an impressive run.
It certainly is.
It didn't look like he was going to get it. Looked like he was about 4 yards short. Second effort, breaking tackles, lunging, got the first down.
And Alex Bannister gets a big star on the top of his paper. Watch the block 4 throws downfield.
Outstanding running. That's effort. That's impressive.
Not once today has the first tackler, first defender on the scene, been able to get Lamont Jordan to the ground.
Yards after contact.
So Bannister's man covering him was down on the ground. Alex, the wide receiver, threw a block. Now he's at the top of the screen. Jordan comes near side. He's in. Yep, touchdown for the North. Lamont Jordan, who did that 11 times this year for Maryland.
Jordan has been impressive.
And there's an opportunity at running back. Deuce is number 1, and Michael Bennett, LaDainian Tomlinson, with Barlow, Anthony Thomas, Buckhalter. You get back into that group, then you solidify a second-round grade, and you see the decisiveness of Lamont Jordan and that running style today, Jaws.
And excellent blocking by the offensive line. Getting to the corner. Once you get to that corner, that's all you see is that pylon. Touchdown.
It hit the upright, so that's a dead ball. You cannot touch it once it hits the upright, and it is no good.
Should have went for 2.
Tough day for Jamie Reed. Lamont Jordan, 91 total yards here, and the touchdown for the North.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Senior Bowl is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers. And by Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. Move your money. Get well connected.
Players like Tony Dixon of the South, part of the traditional visit from players to the University of South Alabama Children's and Women's Hospital yesterday. Players were a welcome sight. Really, they get out of those hospital visits and things like that at All-Star games some perspective, some reason to be proud and respect what they've earned, and also try to brighten up the days of some folks who are in need of that.
Very special week down here in Mobile.
21-9 the score. Wilson with the return, and the Tennessee wide receiver takes it out to the 30. Merrill Hodges with the running back, who's been a factor in the second half. Merrill.
Well, Mike, thanks for sitting here with Lamont Jordan, who's a little tired. Bill Cowher talked about establishing your dominance here in the second half. You not only did it, but you took this team on the shoulders and went down and got their first touchdown.
Yeah, this is a big game. And I keep remembering the words of my Coach Loxley. Tell him, you know, when you get tired, you got to stay in there. Your team needs you. And the game's not over with yet. We got a lot of time left, a lot more points to be scored.
Now, Lamont, you caught the ball and you rushed the ball. Now, when you scored that touchdown, how many points did you get?
You only get 6, baby. You only get 6.
You get 6. So that means points come out of the running game, right?
Points come any way you can get them.
All right. Ron Jaworski's going to just love that.
No,
Great
Merrill.
job, Lamont. Back up to you, Mike.
He got you, Merrill. He said points come anywhere.
But it was set up by the screen pass, and Lamont broke 3 tackles for a big play.
Rivers is intercepted. Torrance Marshall with the pick.
Good job, kid. Way to go.
Not a good decision by Rivers. You must locate the linebacker, read that buzz system, throw it away from him. Busted him right in the hands.
Very similar to the pass that he intercepted on Chris Wenke in the FedEx Orange Bowl, set the first quarter tone. But Lamont Jordan's back out there. We've already seen him throw 1 pass. Mike McMahon is in at quarterback. We might see Lamont Jordan throw another pass here. Sudden change opportunity. Be a flea flicker. Oh, McMahon couldn't shake free, but it was well covered downfield. Fred Smoot was with his players step for step, talking to him.
Letting them know it.
Kendrell Bell from Georgia came away with the 13-yard loss on the sacks. Smoot and Chad Johnson are having fun.
They're trying to get the flea flicker, trying to get the ball deep down the field in this area. South defense didn't bite the fake.
You know, we have a wireless mic on Fred Smoot. At one point, he said, I told you that the guys from the North can only play basketball.
He's a fun guy.
He works at it, too. He plans what he's going to say in a game. He'll find out about a guy's background, his high school coach.
Come on, take off six for me.
McMahon's pass is caught. Chad Johnson got out of bounds. Made up some of the yardage lost on the sack there.
McMahon has been one of the most impressive players this week, and I know, Mel, we have spoken to a number of the scouts and coaches, and his stock has really been on the rise all week. He's got a strong arm. He's been a little bit erratic accuracy-wise, but you can see when he sets and delivers with proper mechanics, he is on target. He's mobile, can throw out the pocket. You know, the NFL now likes that little versatility. First, you win games from the pocket by reading defense and throwing the football, but it's nice to have that mobility.
Well, you saw the stats, you know, more interceptions and touchdowns, under 50% completion percentage, but wasn't surrounded by the best of talent at Rutgers.
Throwing on the run here, his pass is incomplete in the final half minute of this third quarter. McMahon had a very good blue-gray game on Christmas Day. He was the all-star in that game. Truly will go down as one of the best quarterbacks in Rutgers history.
Let's go, boy. Hey, Charles, a talker, a trash talker like Smoot. If you're a wide receiver, does that motivate you, or do you lose focus when you have to deal with a guy like that?
Oh, it motivates you. There's no question you want to get out of it. Some guys will try to get you off your game by talking, and, you know, I know as an old quarterback, defensive lineman would always be talking to me. That's just part of the game. I think Smoot takes it to another level, though.
As a head coach, do you want a corner talking like that?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, you like a guy that can talk and then back it up. So far, Smoot's been doing that.
First punt for Nick Harris of the North. Pins the South back inside the 10. South not hurt by the turnover thanks to Fred Smoot and the defense. They're still up a dozen. Fred Smoot enjoys life.
What the bid? I knew they were going to go to that slant and go, though.
I'm sure at times it might be annoying, but it's entertaining.
Oh, that's
it's in
good,
small doses. I like Fred Smoot. Every time we've been around him, we've had Mississippi State about 4 or 5 times over the last few years. And he's been at Mississippi State 2 years. Enjoyable player. Tomlinson runs for about 4 yards. They'll bring the third quarter to a conclusion. There are a lot of negative things said about athletes in collegiate sports. It's often said by people who don't spend time around some of these young men who, especially this group here, we've bumped into a lot of them during the week, handle their fame and their high level of exposure quite well. This week, they're with their peers. They're seeing that they are not the only stars. Now, a lot of things to learn, a lot of things to do. And one more quarter to do them in the 2001 Senior Bowl. After 3, the South lead is a dozen. Their defense has been very good at different times. Rashard Casey led the lone touchdown drive for the North in this quarter. Some of the sounds outside of the Ladd Peebles Stadium. And people who come from about a couple hours away from here to just come to the Senior Bowl every year. I met a family in the hotel who comes every year with their 8-year-old son who loves college football. They get to meet the players on Friday and come see a game on Saturday with some of the best names, players who've gone on to the pros. Austin High School here in Alabama, their entire team comes here every year just for inspiration to see what it's all about at this level. We start the fourth quarter with a run by Tomlinson. Canadian, first down to the 21. Tomlinson was one of the running stars in the first half when he carried 10 times for 44 yards. Now had 3 carries and 11 more yards here in this second half. Mel, we talked about earlier, Anthony Thomas not here, the hamstring injury left earlier. Deuce McAllister, your #1 running back all year, and despite the injury, stayed there on your board.
Yes, I think there's plenty of film of great efforts by Deuce McAllister to look at. I think he needs to get back to 100% and then put together a great workout, just like Jamal Lewis did last year. Jamal Lewis had back-to-back injury-plagued years and had an unbelievable workout, became the 5th pick overall, was arguably one of the best rookies in the NFL, and Deuce McAllister still at the top. Michael Bennett averaged almost 5.5 a carry. What's that, Mike?
Second running back, Michael Bennett?
I think he could.
Really?
That's projecting because you expect a great workout, but I think he has the ability with his speed and the fact he can run inside as well. Tomlinson, we saw Barlow today. Lamont Jordan, after his effort today, I think is something like could springboard up into that 4th, 5th spot. But that's a pretty good group of running backs.
I was just going to say, you look at that list just at the top and you say, better than average running back class.
And there's a not great depth, though. I think that's where they, if you want a running back, you better get into that top 5, top 6. Get into 7, 8, 9, you're going to get guys like Travis Minor, who could be, as I said before, more of a Priest Holmes type.
Tomlinson. Good moves after that first hit. He scoots out to the 35-yard line. The reason I said that, the surprise with Bennett is the question came into the season, is he just a track guy, And you hit the key word, his inside running really proved that to be wrong.
Average 5.4 carry. Mike carried the ball an awful lot, proved to be very durable, had stamina into the 4th quarter, and hit an 83-yard run. And the big question, as it was with Ron Dane, is they don't use their running backs out of the backfield catching the football. He only had 4 receptions all year. Needs to show during workouts that he can be a factor in the passing game, Charles.
Well, if you go to the next level, you better be able to catch the football. Even Ron Dane's numbers have picked up the Giants in the passing game.
The Western Carolina quarterback, David Rivers, 1st and 10, the 35. Boo Williams, this one is snuffed out, done quickly with Willie Howard from Stanford. A player who has earned plenty of attention with his Pac-10 performances on a Stanford team that doesn't find the spotlight that often.
Outstanding discipline by Willie Howard. Defensively, you must understand your responsibility. Right there, you see Willie Howard staying with his design of the defense. Do not let the ball get outside. You stay there until you see the ball go away. Look for that reverse coming back. Howard does a great job of staying with the design of the defensive scheme and making the play.
Sees a lot of offenses that are pro-style offenses in the Pac-10 and saw a bunch of them. He started all 45 games in his career. All Pac-10 back-to-back seasons. The last person to do that was Kylie Wong, Stanford.
Fine linebacker with the Vikings.
Screen with Tomlinson. Look out. 5 and 10 and a lot more. First down for LT across midfield. Pickup of 28 for LaDainian Tomlinson, who is certainly answering any questions about the caliber of competition here today.
And nice job by Rivers setting this up. Focal point downfield. Set, reset, draw the rush, dump the ball off. Play a game with those linebackers. Get the ball to LT. You get him the ball in space, he's going to make plays.
And Charles, I was watching Willie Howard on that play. He chased Tomlinson as much as he could and turned on the Jets. He's 293 pounds, and he raced down the field to try to be a factor, and that is the motor of Willie Howard, in addition to being 6'3" and change, 293 pounds with outstanding quickness, is the reason why Willie Howard, like Darren Howard last year, who was a steal in round 2 with 11 sacks, Willie Howard, I don't think lasts that long. I think he goes in the middle of the first.
And Mel, the tapes of this game will be sent to every National Football League team. They will see a guy hustling on every single play that he's in there.
Tomlinson for 9. That's now 16 carries. Tomlinson getting near 80 yards here on the afternoon. You talked about those game films, Ron, and you watch them with Merrill for the Edge matchup show. That's one of the key components this week. The drills that the players are doing and the way they're being videotaped. Not that the videotaping in college is any different. They're being done by NFL people. Right. So when the NFL people get their hands on these tapes or watch in person, they're seeing the things that they do, and they check when they want to check out a player. That's why this game gets every senior who's at a high level and is looking to play in an all-star game. There are a couple for injury reasons that don't want to play in an all-star game, try to get healthy for their workout, but the ones who do want to play in an all-star game pick this one first.
Well, and you have the pro coaches here, so they're already now going through the audition period for the NFL draft. This is step 1. This is that job interview the head coaches talk to us about. Now they're with the coaches on the field, doing the drills, the practice schedule, the regiment that you're going to have in the National Football League. This is the start of it all right now, right here.
And the linemen, I think the drills that they do, the one-on-one drills, the pass rush drills, critical as well. But I think when you look at coverage and you see guys like an Andre Dyson, Will Allen out there now against Scotty Anderson and Boo Williams, that's what you see all week. Battles man-to-man, one-on-one.
Jordan gets a breather. Minor doesn't gain much. And let's see what Adrian Karsten has for us.
I have 6.5 feet tall, 300. Well, he says 15. I don't believe him, although I shared a couple of meals with him. Marcus Stroud, one of the reasons that North has been gaining their yards on the ground is because they're running away from you. You're getting double teamed by the big old tractor drivers from Michigan, aren't you?
Yeah, you know, a lot of both of them getting on me. But hopefully I'm just trying to clog up the hole to make a few plays.
Marcus, the idea that the speed in the South is so much better than some of those guys up north, what's your response to that?
Oh, well, it's evident. It's 21-9.
Appreciate it.
Enough said, Mike. That's Marcus, not me. Thank you, Adrian.
Boy, Stroud talking about how you play that defensive tackle position. What you must do is take on two linemen every time.
2nd and 10 for Rivers.
Got it.
A little high for the tight end to pull in. Arthur Love from South Carolina State. A pair of, quote, small school performers who are trying to make an impression against a higher level of competition this week. Love only caught 20 balls this year, 35 in his career, so it's a thin resume that they'll have to sift through if you're making a draft day decision on Arthur Love.
He looks the part, Mike. Physically, he has what it takes, but he fought the ball in practice, and I think he was thinking too much. And South Carolina State, you're not coached up from a positional standpoint, so if he benefits from pro coaching, he has the physical ability, Jaws, but he looked raw. He looked like a developmental prospect this week, dropping some catchable balls. That could push him down. We thought second day again, rounds 4 through 6, 4 through 7. That's where right now it looks like Arthur Love will project.
Yeah, and the route Love just ran was a prototype NFL tight end seam play, trying to get him the football. The ball's a little high, but it's a route that he will learn how to run.
Rivers had his pass knocked down. The pass rush from USC's Ennis Davis and the Illinois star Fred Wakefield, I should say. You mentioned tight ends, Mel, and guys who are coming out. We just discussed Arthur Love. Next year is a big tight end year.
It's a good tight end year, and Todd Heap, I think, capitalized on the fact that this year it's not. I think Brian Natkin has moved up, certainly, to one of the top tight ends. Algie Crumpler from Carolina. We talked about Arthur Love. Stock dropping just a bit. Jabari Holloway from Notre Dame. But next year, Robert Royal from LSU, Tracy Wister from Nebraska, Mike Hart at Duke, very underrated player. Tim Stratton's going back to Purdue. Next year's tight end group, much better than this year's. And Todd Heap now becomes the focal point in the middle of the first round.
Leverton will try to show that he can pin the opponent inside the 10. Does with a wonderful kick there. Just died inside the 10. He'll stop right there. David Leverton has certainly been very solid in all facets here this week. 2001 Senior Bowl in the waning moments with 8 minutes left. And before the players, there's so much to get from this week. And the one thing that amazed me was what all the players said. Being around the guys who they watch on TV is a big thrill. USC guys who get to not see the Big Ten people except Rose Bowl, to get to know these guys and play with some of them. That was the thrill they had this week.
You know, the other thing that's amazing, guys, is the speed of the game. And every once in a while, you know, you play against a real good guy in practice or your opponent in the game. You know, in the course of the season, maybe only 3 or 4 times. This week, it's been a top-notch player. The speed goes way up when you get at this level.
No question. Intensely, we saw some battles during the course of the week, and today they're getting after it. No doubt about that.
McMahon's throw. Chad Johnson.
Man, once you get catch, you don't
I think it's a catch and a knee down and a pass completion. It is. It's a great catch by Johnson.
Mike, it looked like that highlight package catch.
Exactly.
So we saw last night when we were getting ready for today. I mean, outstanding hands and body control.
This is incredible. Look at that. I mean, caught it with his fingernails.
Wow.
Look at that grab. Almost caught the back of the ball. That is just beautiful.
Is that Biletnikoff?
Check for Stickum.
5 catches and 57 yards, and Johnson has continued today what he's shown all week. The Oregon State receiver will be one that we'll talk about early in draft coverage. Deep ball thrown by McMahon, and incomplete for Bobby Newcomb. Fred Smoot on the coverage.
You know, Mike, I was watching Chad Johnson on that play, and he read kind of that skinny little post that we had in the highlight package as well. He had the corner beat, but unfortunately for him, McMahon was looking to the other side.
Newcomb couldn't come up with that grab. It's one of those grabs people are going to want to see a Bobby Newcomb make. And there is Johnson. As Mel mentioned, if you weren't with us earlier, the bloodlines, his cousins, Samari Roll, Keyshawn Johnson. Played a year of football at Langston in Oklahoma, a couple of years at Santa Monica College, set out 98, played in 99. This year, the 6-touchdown performance. Kevin Barlow from Pitt with the run. And one thing that it was Mike Sherman, who's coaching the team opposing Johnson in this game today. He said he was impressed with the young man just in sitting down and his conversation with him, that he admitted there were academic problems that he had to deal with and dealt with them very well, was very honest. And that's some of the stuff the coaches are looking for, the interview process. Look into the guy's eyes, see what he says and means and how he answers questions about his background, his family, the people he hangs around with. Those are oftentimes separators in where you draft a guy.
No doubt about it. Like, he finished everything off. I mean, he finished every route and really hustled, competitive football player all week. And it goes beyond the physical ability. Johnson has that, but the attitude is there as well.
Smoot on the coverage of Johnson, incomplete. Well, with McMahon, they're throwing the ball down the field a little bit more.
Well, he does have the strong arm, and he can air it out. Got that one down there. That's a good matchup to watch, Smoot and Johnson.
They've been having fun all day. Every time it's been one against the other, it's been yak, yak, yeah, blah, 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 blah. Smoot should have had the pick here, although it was in an awkward spot as he was on the move full speed.
Just a hair underthrown. As a quarterback, you want to get that ball out to the sideline, as we like to say, in the box. And for tight coverage, you put it to the outside where only your receiver can catch the football.
Blue-Whitty! Blue-Whitty!
Barlow runs it for a couple of yards.
It's over!
The Steeler personnel is very familiar with Kevin Barlow, not just through this week. In Pittsburgh now, the way the new facility is set up, they share training complex, the Steelers and the Pittsburgh Panthers. They'll share a stadium next year, the new stadium in Pittsburgh. They shared Three Rivers this year. So it's been fun for Barlow, people who know him and people he knows. He grew up in Pittsburgh, a diehard Steeler fan, and what a nice way to spend your last day as a college football player playing for the Steelers coaching staff here today and this week.
And they have been impressed with his ability. He's their kind of guy, our running back. As Haji would say, a factor back.
3rd and 8 throws, a little late, covered by Tay Cody.
Read that cover. He read the route. Cody really did, anticipated it.
You know, we spoke earlier about Cody not peeking into the backfield and reading that quarterback's drop as well as the receiver's route. That time it was textbook. He planted on his back foot as he read the quarterback and drove on the out route. Ball kind of hung a little bit. It's a tough throw, far hash, far sideline. Ball's going to stay in the air.
We haven't really seen much of an opportunity for Nick Harris. Just his second punt. A good punter, Mel?
He's an outstanding punter. He's a good athlete, too. I was watching him throw the football, catch it. He had to do some things with his foot this week like a soccer player. And I thought he did an outstanding job of Cal. Not much hang time on that punt, though.
40-yarder that will be brought back by Cedric Wilson to the 43-yard line. 5:18 left in the 2001 Senior Bowl. This old Alabama fan, old Joe Namath jersey there. He's wrapped up in every word of Rich Waltz, Don McPherson, and Holly Rowe. We're broadcasting the game on ESPN Radio. Our Morgan Stanley Dean Witter well-connected storyline. Good performances, running backs on each side. Lamont Jordan from Maryland, LaDainian Tomlinson of TCU, and the South, those 2 first-quarter turnovers.
It's the ones right there, Michael.
14 points. The difference in this game. South getting those couple of turnovers. It's a seasonable day to the Packer and Steeler coaching staffs, but for the residents of Mobile, it is a little colder than they're used to. Travis Minor on the carry. Gets a couple, and here's Merrill Hodge.
Thanks, Mike. Chad Johnson, Oregon State wide receivers here with me. Now, you've had a terrific week all year, but you are a human highlight reel when it comes to catching the football.
Yes, sir. Just out there focusing on what I got to do, you know, doing what I've been taught over the years, throughout the years. And it just comes down to, you know, it's like a job interview to me. And it's very important that I showcase what I can do since I ain't had much time to play at the D1 level. So, you know, this is really important to me, that I come out and shine.
Now, Keyshawn Johnson is your cousin. He says that you're a little faster than he is. He's a little bigger than you are, but you don't rip on the players like he does.
Well, that's okay. That's just part of his game. You know, when it comes to football, we're 2 different type of players altogether. You know, if we were the same, you know, I'd probably be ripping on people and doing what he does also. But, you know, he's an excellent player. He's a good wideout, you know, and I look up to him for that. You know, I give him much respect, and a lot of stuff I emulate off of him, you know, when it comes to my game on the field. So much respect to him, and just go out there and do my thing.
That's a good one to look after. Good luck to you, Chad.
Appreciate it.
Mike, back to you.
Thank you, Merrill. You can hear in that interview part of the serious business-like tone that Chad Johnson took here this week. he knew that he had to make an impression and has made a very favorable one.
I think a year with Dennis Erickson really benefited.
Great point.
Chad Johnson. I mean, you think of Oregon State, I thought they were, finished in the top 5. They were an elite program, and he was, from the middle portion of the season on, as electrifying as any receiver, not just in the Pac-10, Jaws, anywhere.
Yeah, and you hear Chad talking about this is a job interview, and obviously Dennis Erickson made an impression on him that this is important to come here and do all the right things, not only play good football.
That pass is incomplete. Zeke Moreno in on the coverage. Try to steal an INT. You mentioned Oregon State being an elite program. Oregon State was this year's Virginia Tech in many ways, Mel, and it brings up the question of Michael Vick, who, of course, is coming out as a third-year sophomore. That's why he can come out as a sophomore, because he redshirted a year. And a lot of people have varying opinions on Michael Vick. Not that he's going to be a great player, but when will he be a great player?
Exactly. I thought another year would have really benefited Michael Vick, but I guess it's tough, Jaws. You're going to be the first pick overall. It's tough to say, hey, go back to Virginia Tech, look on your skills when you're going to be the first pick overall.
Leverton's kick was blocked. It's picked up for a touchdown by Gerard Cooper of Kansas State. Leverton mishandled the snap, tried to still kick it. It was blocked, and Cooper takes it in, and now the North is within 6 at 21-15. The block came from Joe Tafoya from Arizona.
We now have a ball game going down the final 3:31. Coach Sherman not too happy. Special teams breakdown.
Let's go.
It's hard to get upset with special teams when you don't get a lot of chance to work on it.
Although, Mike, they did appropriate quite a bit of time this week being out of practice to special teams. And but again, you got snappers and punters that aren't used to working with each other, and holders and snappers not used to working with each other. So you're going to get some breakdowns in a game like this.
Here we didn't have a holder out there, and Nick Harris, the punter, runs out to hold for Jamie Ream. We've had trouble on their extra points. That snap was a good one. Best snap we've seen, and Ream gets a chance to show his leg. A little special team score changes the complexion of the 2001 Senior Bowl. Bad snap. Leverton couldn't come up with it cleanly. The block by Tafoya, the score by Cooper.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of the 2001 Senior Bowl is brought to you by Buick and your local Buick dealers.
21-16 with 3:31 left. Looks like we're going to get an onside kick from the North. I'm sure they haven't worked on this very much. Although I did see them work on it twice. I saw Reggie Wayne come up with a recovery.
Oh, good one.
And it's recovered by the South.
Got the high hop.
Recovery made by Corey Bird. And if you are a Virginia Tech player, you are a special teams standout. Little fetch monster coming out to get the kicking tee.
I'm really impressed with that. You know, that's kind of made my whole day.
Does he get an appearance fee? Does he get paid for coming out to do this?
This little dog bone every time he comes back to the sideline.
It is a sheep.
Oh, sheep.
I beg your pardon.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Blue fetch monster.
Get myself in trouble again.
No, just the facts. Jesse Palmer in the huddle.
96 power. On one ready.
A little running play, strong side.
Huh? 96 power. On one. 96 power.
You just broke the huddle, big fella.
Woo, Tarzan!
Jesse Palmer back in at quarterback. Uh-oh, ball on the ground, and it's recovered by the Hawaii offensive lineman, Keegan Forney.
Hey, Mike, I got to tell you.
Oh, I'm sorry, Jaws. That's Bernard Robertson from Tulane. Saw the green helmet. My mistake. Go ahead.
Little snap count story. You know, you come out the huddle, you just said, hey, you know, we're going to run power 96 on 2.
Yep.
You know, you're walking up the line, and the lineman turns around and says, what's the snap count? So you can't say it's on 2. So you come up with a very sophisticated system. You go, B. It's on B. You know, if it was on 1, it would be A. You know, defensive guys couldn't figure that out. It's amazing, isn't it?
It's a tough group. Timeout for the North squad here at the 3:12 mark, fourth quarter. Well, there are early early entries who are not seniors or in this game, like Michael Vick, the third-year sophomore from Virginia Tech, who's coming out early, and David Terrell, the do-everything wide receiver from Michigan. Junior is coming into the draft. Corin Robinson, like Vick, a third-year sophomore, explosive receiver for the Wolfpack of NC State. Had a great season. Played big in the big games, too, for North Carolina State, except for the Florida State game. They figure in the plans of these teams. Here's the top 10. San Diego, Arizona, the 2 Ohio teams, and Atlanta. Look at the next 5, though. Teams that have known success recently. The Pats, Cowboys, Bears, 49ers, and Mike Holmgren's Seattle Seahawks, division champs, just a year ago.
It seems like those first 5 teams are the first 5 teams every year.
In some rotation of that order, doesn't it? The run by Tomlinson. Well, what do you guys think about Michael Vick? That's the million-dollar draft question.
Stay in school. There's no doubt in my mind from what I have seen of Michael Vick. Yes, he's a tremendously talented athlete, but he is not ready to step into the National Football League yet. Now, I think it's a huge risk to come out right now. I know someone's going to invest a lot of money in him. I don't think the time is now. He needs a lot more seasoning, a lot more playing time.
And with that said, Josh, your San Diego Chargers, you misfired with Ryan Leaf. Now you try to deal him. Your John Butler taking over. You have Mike Rallies for 1 year, right? Norv Turner signs a 4-year contract as coordinator. You have to have somebody else under center this year, not Michael Vick. But do you still utilize that pick to bring in a quarterback that probably will be 3 years into the NFL before he can win for you?
Well, I think John Butler would do a great job of building that football team. I think the acquisition of Norv Turner to handle the offense is a tremendous addition. Norv Turner understands the quarterback position. I think if Michael Vick does go in that situation, he will benefit from having Norv Turner there. It's a quarterback-friendly system that Norv will run. So, yes, there is that advantage. But I think they'll trade the pick.
And let's see if Atlanta, Pittsburgh maybe are enticed now to move up because there's so much value on that top pick that does represent now with San Diego, Michael Vick. And when we see the top players on the board right now, the junior influence, especially in the top 7, 6 of these players are underclassmen. The only senior is Bruce McAllister, running back from Ole Miss. All these other players underclassmen, and the talented wideouts of Terrell and Robinson. You see Justin Smith, great physical talent, had 11 sacks at Missouri, 97 tackles, led the Tigers. Kenyatta Walker slightly ahead of Leonard Davis from Texas, the senior, and Andre Carter, a very solid defensive end out of Cal. And we talked about Steve Hutchinson at left guard with the ability also maybe to be a right tackle.
Jenkins made a nice play there. Chris Jenkins from Ypsilanti, Michigan, the Maryland defensive tackle. The North has used its timeouts, and they're going to force a decision here on 4th down for the South. Leading by 5. The North has used all those timeouts, but they're going to get the ball back. The North defense has forced the South into a 3-and-out, so they'll punt the ball away. The 5-point lead. Bad snap last time for Leverton. Let's see if this one's better. Yep, better snap. Cooper off the corner, got a piece. Still, it went forward, and we'll be down to the 23.
Nice to see Gerard Cooper making some plays, Mike. Like last time people remember Gerard Cooper was against Oklahoma, Big 12 championship game with the tight end for Oklahoma, Trent Smith, really got the best of Gerard Cooper, strong safety for the Wildcats. And he came here. I think he was very intense during the week. And today on special teams, the last 2 punts by Leverton, Cooper has come up big.
Just enough of an impression to help in those benefit of the doubt situations, which is what happens in draft rooms as the draft meanders through its 2 days and 7 rounds. So here with 2:40 and without timeouts, it's a chance for Mike McMahon and the North to get something going. Here's Chad Johnson.
Real good test for a quarterback. Get in this situation. Hey, this is what you want to do. Go for the guy that's been your star all week. Chad Johnson, a square into the backside of the route. Nice delivery by McMahon on this one. Setting deep in pocket, delivered the ball on the crossing route.
29-yard pickup. Johnson, 6 catches, 87 yards.
By the way, Smoot's not on the field.
Excellent anticipation. Hit him out of the break. Good job by McMahon.
Well, they're going to have a chance here at the 48-yard line. Moving inside the 2-minute mark.
90, 90, 90, 90, 90. Come on, man.
Margin Hooks cannot hang on.
I think we know that 90 is the quick out now.
Quick study. Quick study.
If they call 90 on one of those plays, I guarantee you, corner will jump.
1:44 to go. McMahon will call the play.
Zero pass. Yeah.
Remember, all these players had to learn the playbook from scratch on Monday morning. A couple of them said it was funny. Jesse Palmer, who played in the All-Star game in Orlando on Saturday, said, I had to forget everything I just learned and start anew. Caught by Johnson. Him playing college rules, so he is down with the knee down.
I see Fred Smoot about the 43-yard line on the sidelines, almost jumping to the game.
There he is.
Now he want me. He don't want no more of me. He don't want no more. I'm stepping all the way down the line. Here he comes, Daddy.
You gotta love that enthusiasm.
3rd and 3. Johnson has come to the near side. McMahon goes his way. Johnson slipped on the cut. Larry Kasher brought him down and did a little too much after the play. Minute 12 left. It's 4th down here, so they must convert to keep the game going.
I stay with that short passing game. Probably come with the hitch or the quick slant.
Give him something. Give him a play there, guys.
Mike Malarkey new at calling plays from the sideline. Certainly has paid his dues in Pittsburgh, waiting for this opportunity, and I believe he'll do a very good job. Spoke to Mike throughout the week, has a real good understanding of what it takes to sustain offense in the National Football League.
New offensive coordinator replacing Kevin Gilbride. 4th and 3, they must convert, and they'll run for it with Barlow. No, sir. Eric Westmoreland and Alex Lincoln. Alex Lincoln went to Murphy High School here in Mobile, Alabama. You talk about a great story. Here's a kid who was a walk-on at the JC level, a walk-on at Auburn, earned his way to a solid SEC all-star performance in the Senior Bowl, and he comes in and makes a play that'll help save the game in his hometown of Mobile. And he was at his high school yesterday, got honored at his high school. Thrill of a week for Alex Lincoln.
That's a great story. Made a big play right there.
Yep. We'll close out the game. The MVP awards have been voted on, and LaDainian Tomlinson of TCU has been named the game MVP. Defensive MVP for the North, Torrance Marshall of Oklahoma. North offensive MVP, Lamont Jordan from Maryland. Defensive MVP of the South, Fred Smoot. Cedric Wilson of Tennessee, the offensive MVP of the South. And LT, the overall MVP, LaDainian Tomlinson, with the big rushing day. 19 carries and 88 yards.
Thanks, big dog. Thanks.
Well, Cedric Scott, defensive end from Southern Miss, Mike, really came up big for the South. Made some plays, got after Mo Williams, got a couple pressures, one sack of Casey, and here again when that 4th down play was a factor.
Speaking of Southern Miss, Tony Smith of Southern Miss was the last running back to win the MVP in the Senior Bowl back in 1992. It's been mostly quarterbacks. They've won 6 of the last 7 Senior Bowl MVPs.
I think Jesse Palmer had a real nice game today. Got rid of the ball on time, showed a good rotation on the ball, a catchable pass, showed some mobility moving out of the pocket, scoring a touchdown. Stock went up a little bit, huh, Mel?
I'll tell you, several players. I think Fred Smoot, showing that, hey, I want that challenge of Chad Johnson, one-on-one.
He did a good job with him.
I thought he did a nice job. And Chad Johnson certainly accounted himself very well. Wanted the ball in his hands at the end on that last drive, and certainly has a tremendous amount of ability.
You see Adrian Karstens with the game MVP.
In the very talented, very consistent South offense, the most valuable player, obviously, LaDainian Tomlinson, right from the very first snap. Great day for you.
Yeah, we had a great day. My big house up front did a great job of blocking for me. You know, I saw some cuts early on. I was just trying to hit them full speed and get up here, and it paid off for me today.
Talk about your attitude coming in here today. There are other running backs who are seniors in the United States who left this week. You decided to stay even with a slight injury. Why?
Well, you know, I love to play football. You know, I'm just here trying to compete and have fun with everybody else and fellowship with everybody, you know, and it's a team effort, and I just enjoy playing football.
Congratulations on a great day. Merrill, depending on what Dorsey Levin's situation is, this young man's made a huge impression on the Packers this week.
Thanks, Adrian. With me is the Norse MVP, Lamont Jordan. You got in there. You showed that not only can you catch the ball, but you can run the ball.
Yeah, I just came out there. I just went out there today and did what I was out here to do, and that's run the ball and put my team in the best position to win. Although we didn't get the win, you know, we competed. We had a lot of fun.
Now, the NFL treated this like an interview process you had all week. What did you come away with it?
I think I worked pretty hard. Coming into this week, I was told that, you know, it's not what you do in the game, but it's what you do in practice, and then it's what you do in the game. I think I had a very successful week, and I'm looking forward to getting back to Maryland, working out, and seeing where I can go in the draft.
All right, now you wanted to say hi to a few people.
Yeah, I want to say hi to everybody back at home, University of Maryland. I'm on my way home back Sunday, getting out of Mobile, Alabama. What's up, Carzay, Cecily, Coach Locks? What's up there, everybody?
Stop him, Merrill.
All right, thanks, Lamont. That's pretty much everybody, Mike.
Thanks, Merrill.
Back to you, buddy.
Anybody you want to say hi to, buddy? See you down in Tampa for the Super Bowl. Adrian Carson, nice to work with you as well. Final thoughts here, guys?
Well, you know what was really the beauty of this? The guys worked hard all week. They understood it was what it takes now to get to the next level. I thought it was a well-played football game. I think by hearing the guys' comments after the game, they now understand what it takes over the next few months to get ready for the NFL draft.
No question about it. The battle Smoot against Johnson. I thought Jeff Backus, left tackle, held up well all week, even today. And I think Hutchinson's proven that he's a top guy. But I thought McMahon all week, and as you said, Jesse Palmer in particular, quarterback, really helped himself.
This is the final day of the college football season. You'll see the Hula Bowl on ESPN tonight. What happens next for many of these players, Mel?
Let's get ready for the combine workout. Remember, a lot of the top guys will go there for the medical, will save their workout situation for the individual testing, and that's when they really have to show up big, like a Jamal Lewis did last year coming out of Tennessee, going to Baltimore.
And then it's get ready for April, and the NFL teams will take these tapes and pour over them, not just the game tape, but the practices as well.
No question, Mike. You know, people are going to look at those tangibles, how fast they run, how high they can jump. What they want to see, can they play the game of football? The tapes will show that.
ESPN News is next. Our final score, the South 21, the North 16. Mel Kiper, Ron Jaworski, Merrill Hodge, Adrian Karsten, Mike Tirico. Thanks for watching this presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com, your home for college football on the internet. So long from Mobile. ESPN News is next.